Saludos mi gente, ¿cómo están ustedes en este día de hoy? Espero que se encuentren sabrosos.
Deporte en vivo. Juan Sabelo todo. Luces encendidas ya se siente la presión. El estadio vibra fuerte con cada transmisión. Desde el fútbol hasta el cable y el balón. Aquí vivimos cada jugada con pasión. Desde la cancha hasta la narración. Aquí no es solo un juego, es emoción. Si suena el silbato comienza.
We welcome you to Toyota Arena in Ontario, California for a presentation of the Major Arena Soccer League on KBCR PBS and Fox Soccer. Today, the Empire Strykers host the Baltimore Blast in a game that carries massive weight as two teams vying for playoff position. Hello everybody, my name is Christian Philman alongside the coach, Artie Tyrell. We are in it today, it's happy hour, it's Thursday, the weekend is upon us. It may be raining on the outside, but there are no clouds in sight as both teams need to have very rosy and sunny-like performances in order to climb up the MESL standings and secure a postseason berth.
Absolutely, Philly. It's a 9-point swing. The Blast have 6 points in hand. They play tonight. Strikers have to hold it home, like we talked last time. So this is a big game for both teams.
The Empire Strikers, like the Baltimore Blast, have had some really big wins and a couple of game losing streaks that they need to correct. Now, the Baltimore Blast are a team that has a lot of talent and a lot of history, a lot of firepower, led by their captain, Juan Pereira. Jonatas Mello is having an incredible season. And, of course, they have newcomer of the year in that Chad Porch. For the Empire Strikers, coming off massive wins as well, beating San Diego on the road and then beating the Milwaukee Wave here under the bright lights of Toyota Arena just a couple of days ago. They're currently sitting in 6th position, but a win against Baltimore today and a win against Tacoma on Sunday would prove to be vital for their ability to make it to the playoffs.
Indeed, it's from the last performance, Baltimore held the Empire Strikers 0 goals in the last 3 quarters. The Strikers have been doing very well, scoring goals at home. This is the time to keep it going, keep it rolling. Again, those 9 points, that's a big swing.
The Empire Strikers, they are led by Munir Alami, who, like Chad Porch on Baltimore, were considered the newcomer of the year. Chad Porch would win that one. Will Alami win the battle here between the two sophomores? Justin Stinson also a part of it, and Marco Fabian. Two very talented teams that like to utilize possession in their favor in order to beat their opposition. Artie, what do the Strikers need to focus on this evening?
I think just keep doing what they're doing. They put up a ton of goals the last 2 games. Just got to continue. Again, we talked about it last time. Consistency is the key, and they've got to be consistent with what they've had in the last 2 performances at home. Home's been great for them. No place like home.
Home has been great for the Baltimore Blast as well. They've had troubles, though, on the road. What do they need to accomplish in order to get a big dub against the Strikers here on the road?
I'm sure they've got some confidence coming from home and shutting them out in the last 3 quarters, but coming to the bigger field, they're going to have to deal with the press. They're going to have to deal with the energy of the Strikers. I mean, they've been playing very energized, so it's just a matter of breaking that press and getting in behind. I wouldn't be surprised if they use their goalkeeper as a direct threat going in behind the Strikers.
Folks, you've heard it here. The table has been set. We're going to step aside for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get down to business. The business of indoor soccer. It's the Strikers taking on the Baltimore Blast. Kickoff on the other side of the screen. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on KBCR PBS and Fox Soccer.
National Board, proud to partner with your on the field, in the community. We defend the Empire. Sign up for our free soccer clinics and meet your favorite striker. Community, passion. This is your Empire.
Seguimos en vivo. No olvides suscribirte para no perderte ninguno de mis eventos. Si eres fanático de los deportes, mi canal es el que debes seguir. Y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos.
Baby, I snatch souls and be murdered. She wrote 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I
Desde el fútbol hasta el cáliz y el balón, aquí vivimos cada jugada con pasión. Desde la cancha hasta la narración, aquí no es solo
Corky's Homestyle Kitchen and Bakery, where good food and good feelings come standard. Our team serves up an array of made-from-scratch, home-style favorites for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with fresh-baked goodies straight from the oven. Inspired by Grandma Corky herself, every dish is made with the freshest ingredients and a heaping helping of love. Her spirit lives on in every bite, filling more than just your belly. It fills your heart, too. So come join our family here at Corky's, where friendly faces, honest cooking, and quality food are just the way we do things.
Disculpen por esa, ¿cómo te digo? Esa confusión ahí. Pero era que no estaba oyendo nada yo. Ahora sí estoy oyendo, sé que estoy en vivo. Que se están oyendo los volúmenes, se está oyendo
the Major Arena Soccer League is proud to welcome you to MASL Soccer on MASL TV, KVCR PBS, and we'd like to extend a warm welcome to our viewers tuning in on Fox Soccer Plus. Miter, the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Learn more at miter.com. Capelli Sport is the official uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Learn more at maslsoccer.com. Hello, everybody. You are looking at a live shot of Toyota Arena in Ontario, California, the Inland Empire. Tonight, the Empire Strykers take on the Baltimore Blast in a contest that carries significant weight. Both teams are tied in points, both teams looking to usurp one another and have that opportunity to claim a position in the postseason. My name's Philly, along with the coach Artie Kyrell. Both teams coming off of big games in their most recent outings. One team is going to go home victorious. The other one's going to have to go back to the drawing board and think it over.
Yeah, Philly, both teams are coming in, as you said, off the victories. And the big thing tonight is just who's going to impose whose will first. The last time they played, they were in Baltimore. Strikers went the last three quarters without scoring. So, the sooner the Strikers can get rolling, the better it is for them. Otherwise, Baltimore's confidence is going to come up and grow.
The Strikers are the home team wearing the white jerseys. Baltimore Blast are wearing the black. Your officials today, Kia DePon and Daniel Radford, Adrian Gonzalez, Andy Waller, and Dan Sobieski. And we are underway live under the bright lights of Toyota Arena. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League. We have two teams that have had very similar seasons, very similar ups and downs. Both teams have had some incredible victories, followed by a series of losses. So far, both teams are in the wins column. Baltimore having just won on the road against Utica City FC in a shootout. The Blast are a team that succeed at home. They've had their struggles on the road. The Empire Strykers, on the other hand, a team that's been hot and cold and up and down, but riding a nice and comfortable winning streak, having won here on Monday on President's Day against the Milwaukee Wave and having beaten the San Diego Sockers this past Sunday for the third time this season, something that they have never done in franchise history. Ali Somo has a little bit of contact by the captain of Juan Pereira, and we just want to acknowledge the fact that Pereira just had his 200th regular season appearance on the road at Utica City FC, and there's an attempt by Marco Fabian as that ding-dong ring-a-ling-a-lings off the crossbar.
That's going to wake them up.
It's going to wake everybody up in the audience here, that's for sure, and hopefully everybody at home. Marco Fabian, the Mexican legend, having competed for El Tri in the World Cup on a number of occasions, won a trophy in the Bundesliga, the Pokal to be precise, playing for Eintracht Frankfurt in 2019. That's a big, big deal, considering that Eintracht Frankfurt hasn't had a history of success, but Fabian, a big part of that team, and a big part of the Strikers' success in recent years, having in his rookie season not only been the newcomer of the year, but had the Golden Boot along with the Kansas City Comets' Zach Reggett. Golden Boot, the award going for most goals in the league during a regular season.
So you had 1:38 of possession for the Strikers and 3 seconds for Baltimore to start this game.
Not a surprise, as the Strikers are a team that like to maintain possession. There we see Andy Reyes, another player on the turf, celebrating a milestone. Reyes, a club icon, now playing in his 100th game with the Strikers franchise tonight.
Just sees the Baltimore's just comfortable with giving away this space here. although they did get caught on the transition when Marco hit that first time. So it's going to be interesting to see a little battle of wits here, who's going to extend and who's going to, make that first error.
Stinson tries to fire it in. That gets belted. And the Strykers maintain possession. These two teams met back on February the 1st in Baltimore, a game in which the Blast absolutely obliterated the Strykers by a score of 8-2. Historically, there's been 8 meetings overall between these two teams, dating back to December 1st of 2017, a game in which the Blast beat the then known as Ontario Fury 8-5. We would see goals by two players who are still with their respective franchises, Andy Reyes, who we just mentioned, and Jonatas Mello, who also is on the turf for the Blast, or in the game rather. These two players scored in that game. And it's interesting, considering the 12-year history of this league, that this is only the 8th meeting. You and I haven't had many opportunities to call Blast games, so we do want to say hello to all our friends tuning in from the Northeast. We hope you're keeping warm. We share similar weather these days, and I don't say that tongue-in-cheek. It's been rather cold and rainy here in Southern California. Justin Stinson, the Empire Strykers elite midfielder, was on the short list for the Golden Boot last year. Was a goal or so shy from winning that award. That would be an award given to the then Chihuahua Savages, Jorge Rios, as that one comes out of play with 11:17 remaining. On the turf for the Empire, we see Barbaro Chalier, newly acquired from Utica City FC. Cuban-born international, competed on the Cuban futsal team along with his now teammate Walter Diaz-Gonzalez. Robert Palmer, one of the most imposing defenders in the MASL, connects in with Andy Reyes. See Steven Chavez on the turf. Isak Somo and Chalier. Brian Orozco, who is a scoring threat offensively. In between the sticks for the Baltimore Blast is Julian Rodriguez, and I'm going to give a shout out to the young goalkeeper. Not very often I get to engage in conversation with a gentleman who's from the same neck of the woods I'm from, Queens, New York, albeit he's from Bayside and I'm from Forest Hills.
So both teams being very patient. Baltimore kind of dropping in and extending out versus kind of the lateral traps that most teams have been using thus far against the Strikers. So interesting to kind of see that angular change there defensively.
Wellington Bramus right in that midfield, trying to operate as the middle part of the Strikers' offensive sandwich, getting in the way as that pass comes back over to Reyes. Patrick Thompson on the turf for Baltimore. As we see Jonatas Mello, been with the Baltimore Blast 10 years now. Mello has seen some things, part of that iconic three-peat Blast team that really tore through the MASL in its early inception. Stinson kicks that one high in the air, trying to find Cutis Lawal. Thompson clears it, pass into Palmer. Palmer fires it off target. And yeah, you're right, Artie. For this moment, it's been really all Strikers in terms of possession. But there we see Mello, an elite midfielder, gets dispossessed. We see Ali Somo, two Somo brothers on the turf for the Empire Strykers. So from here on out, just to avoid any confusion, number 99 we will refer to as Ali, number 24 Isak.
So a lot of possession for the Strikers, but it's possession where the Blast is saying you can have this space. So it's not as though they're possessing through pressure. Baltimore's just electing to kind of sit in and kind of be organized behind it.
And Fabian fires it, and the chip by Lawal did not have enough mustard on it. Gets the wrong end of his boot on the miter ball, and an easy save. Not going to get any easier for Rodriguez. Stinson with some space to operate. He fires, and another save by Rodriguez. Collected in by Jairo Guevara. A lot of explosive firepower on this Blast team. Picked away by Cutis Lawal. He's got Fabian wide open to the right. Fabian puts on the brakes. Into Diaz-Gonzalez. Chips it in, trying to find Ben Sudeth, who celebrating a birthday. We have a player down on the turf, and that is Guevara. He's been on the turf for a little while. The official blows the whistle just to tend to the player. Jairo Guevara in his 3rd year in the MASL and with the Baltimore Blast out of Alexandria, Virginia. He's had a career high in goals this season. It looked like he took a shot to the face. but he's going to head back over to the bench. And it's going to be a restart here for Empire. As entering back onto the turf is Kevon Frater, second year in the MASL, Cuban international out of Harborview FC. Played USO at the Colorado Springs Switchbacks and New Mexico United. One cap with Jamaica in 2019, and that's a high praise getting to put on a Reggae Boys kit without question. Pass comes in to Polo Hernandez. Hernandez in to Somo. Strikers have a few players that from upstate New York. Isak, his brother Ali, and now Shalir. Isak goes to his right into Reyes. Reyes finds Alan Perez, tries to skirt it through into Munir Alami. And we see two players in their sophomore season here in the MASL, and that of Chad Porch and Munir Alami, two players that were considered for Newcomer of the Year. Of course, that would be an award given to Chad Porch of the Baltimore Blast. As we now head into immediate timeout with 7:53 remaining here in the first quarter. Both teams knotted up at a goose egg a pop. We're going to step aside for a quick break, and when we come back, we got some more first quarter action for you here from Toyota Arena in Ontario, California.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking.
Quedan 7:53 en el primer cuarto del juego y como pueden ver estamos entrando en anuncio y ahora que estamos en anuncio, recuerden suscribirse para que puedan continuar viendo eventos como este, eventos en vivo totalmente gratis, que es una maravilla, ¿verdad? Porque siempre los deportes quieren cobrar cosas. Y nosotros los creadores ahora tenemos una oportunidad, o por lo menos yo tengo una oportunidad de poder presentar estos eventos en vivo. Gracias a una invitación que me llegó del canal de los deportes. Y me invitaron a que fuera uno de sus anfitriones, que es, me siento yo que es un logro, porque después de 34,000 horas transmitiendo y creando contenido para ustedes, por fin recibo mi primera invitación y voy a disfrutar esto. Esto se va a ir poniendo más bueno y más bueno, porque ya ustedes me conocen a mí, soy dedicado a lo que hago. Les pido que estén conmigo, tengan un poco de paciencia en lo que yo comienzo a conocer los rostros de los diferentes jugadores de los equipos y cosas, y así según eso vaya sucediendo, mi presentación como anfitrión va a ir mejorando y voy a buscar la forma de cómo ponerme un audífono donde yo pueda oír lo que está pasando en el juego y poder compartir con ustedes información en la lengua suya. Faltan 2 o 3 cositas que tengo que preparar, pero ya de aquí a, vamos a decir, el resto de este mes,
passes into his left to Fabian. Fabian fires it off target.
De una manera que pueda yo darle una mejor experiencia aquí en mi canal, pero no dejan de ver la experiencia del juego. Aquella persona que están aquí hoy en día conmigo,
having won with Mexico in the 2012 London Summer Olympics. That was a big time move for Mexico as they beat Brazil in that match. On the counter is the Blast. Frater, that one gets belted into the stands. And unfortunately for the fan who caught the miter, that is not a take-home souvenir. Although it would be kind of fun to take home some of these balls, but then that would get very expensive. I know our friends at Miter would be thrilled, though, if we kept making requests and orders for more of their balls. Pass coming in to Wellington Bramus. He wears Welly on his number 77 jersey. So henceforth, we will refer to Welly as Welly. Out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Baltimore, an interesting landing spot for 7 Brazilians. 7 Brazilians, and over the course of the Blast's history, that extends back to 92 when they were called the Baltimore Spirit. And yes, fans, I do know that the Baltimore Blast's history does extend even further, but in 92, Ed Hale, who was owner of the original team, bought the rights. He had the rights to the Blast name, came back into the league as the Spirit, renamed on July the 10th of 1998. And here we have one of the most iconic franchises in the history of the indoor game. And by the way, I want to give a credit to the kit designers, the jersey makers. Excellent jerseys, as that Ball takes a deflection off of the head of Pat Thompson. Thompson out of Norfolk, Virginia. He's been in this league for as long as the league's been around. 12 seasons. Started with the Heat, played with Syracuse, played with St. Louis and Utica City FC in his 4th year. Corner kick restart for the Strikers as Hernandez fires it in. Near goal by Diaz Gonzalez, who's been on a tear for the Empire Strykers as of late. Now in his 12th game, he's managed 8 goals, 4 assists, so averaging a point a game. Diaz Gonzalez, along with his teammate now Shalir, played with the Cuban national futsal team. Pass comes into Stinson. Stinson trying to put the footwork on Thompson. Fires it in. Sila with the clear. You head on over to MASLsoccer.com, an excellent article on Umar Sila, written by the legendary soccer writer Michael Lewis. Something we learned in that article is trained with Stoke City in England. He's had a heck of a career. Threw a ball in. And Kia Depanen blows the whistle. What do we got on the turf, Coach?
I'm thinking there might have been a
Entonces eso permite que estos juegos no se pierdan porque hay un aguacero, porque hay una nevada,
see some confusion as Melo and Guevara of the Blast. Wondering what's going on. The officials are huddling over by the scores table. Just got to determine what the deal was. There we see Rodriguez.
I believe it came from the third official in the box. So it has to be I would assume. I mean, there's really no other explanation to stop.
No, they were debating whether or not it was three lines.
3 lines. Ball was on the ground.
Well, that's what everybody in my ears are telling me right here.
Well, literally didn't get more than.
Podemos ver la cámara que está streameando.
So we're going to get official confirmation here. Well, David Bascom, the head coach of the Baltimore Blast, comes on to the turf. So let's head on over to the tail of the table. Let's see how both of these teams stack up statistically here.
Pero entonces no se ve el
detalle
de lo que
está
pasando.
You know, they're both right at the,
Por eso que ustedes
Baltimore's at the Mendoza line.
Que no
Empire's
está
just slightly below
capturando
it, so you can kind
el
of see
play
that right there.
completo, sino solamente
-1 and a +7 is the biggest difference. Strikers have kind of come on at home, but they begin up giving up goals as well as they're
es la diferencia de estos streams de nosotros, que son como más,
it's about as level as it can be.
¿Cómo le digo?
And the Blast do have a couple of games in hand against the Strikers. The Strikers is now their 17th, Blast 15th.
Pueda tener una experiencia mejor. Y por esa razón ustedes ven que está
Not sure why anybody in here would have said the 3-line pass, so we do apologize for that. But yeah, Coach, you were right. That's why we have you on here. The rules maker. So let's explain the blue card scenario to our new viewers tuning in at home.
Persona, ¿verdad? Que está mirando el juego.
So,
para que sepan por qué se ve todo así como tan detallado y tan cerca, ¿verdad? Déjenme ustedes en los comentarios, pueden decirme aquí en el chat si ustedes creen que les gusta de esa manera o si prefieren ver la cámara para afuera, porque entonces esa sugerencia la damos nosotros la empresa que está transmitiendo de que enseñe más de
So now we have
del estadio,
Jairo Guevara,
pero yo creo que uno lo que quiere ver es la acción, viendo la bola ahí mismo, viendo que ahí mismo está el jugador, ¿verdad? Mira cómo se le ven los detalles, mira cómo se le ve cada cosa. Usted puede hasta ver en la cara muy bien a las personas que están en el estadio, que están en ese momento ahí, donde está ese movimiento. Entonces, está heavy. Mi preferencia yo lo prefiero verlo así, que yo pueda ver bien los detalles del juego, tú sabes, de lo que está sucediendo.
The Strikers keeper heads over to the Pine Pony. Palmer, who has been incredible at contributing to his teammates' success in terms of assists. Last season he was 2nd in the league. Everybody knows him as a multi-time defender of the year. Pass comes into Stinson. Stinson into Diaz Gonzalez.
Alberto took an early shot last game as well as he did this game, just to probably throw the teams off, because he's a great passer.
an incredible passer, really the anchor of this back line for the Strykers.
Recuerde que pueden chatear conmigo en vivo aquellas
right
personas
into
que
Alami.
están
Alami back over to
mirando
Palmer.
este evento.
Palmer off
Le
target. That
quiero
ball
tirar un
ricochets into
shout-out por
Fabian.
ahí
Fabian, who has an
Pablo,
absolute bazooka of a leg
mi
in terms of
compañero
shots. Had multiple conversations
de
with keepers around the league, and several of them have
deporte
indicated
de
how incredibly powerful Fabian's strike is. World-class talent, but no surprise considering his accolades. Palmer chips it into Diaz-Gonzalez, trying to scissor. The header, what a save by Rodriguez. Another attempt. Rodriguez standing on his toes, standing tall. Excellent save.
Eso fue
And that left arm's a
tremendo.
weapon too. You know, at full
Uno
strength, when you
comienza a
catch it like
sentirse
that,
bueno.
you kind of see he
Tal
threw
vez
it,
todo ese sacrificio
you know,
que
on
yo
the
he puesto
rail.
vale la
So,
pena.
I'll be interested to see if
Porque,
that comes out.
oiga,
I
mi
was talking to
gente,
Coach Chi
no
before
es
the game about
fácil. Usted
that.
está ahí diseñando contenido,
He was kinda
34
talking
mil
about the
horas de su
distance.
vida.
Yep.
Y que
An
nadie le dé un
incredible
reconocimiento a uno de lo
One
que
of
uno
the
está
best
haciendo
that
de
the city of New
sacrificio y
York
cosas.
has ever
Nosotros hacemos, bueno, yo le hago las
created
cosas
out of
por
Bayside,
puro
Queens.
gusto, pero
With his
también como
club
quiera, de vez
Bayside,
en cuando uno
helped
quiere
win
sentirse
a
que
club
alguien le pase
title
la
on a
mano
couple
y
of
le diga,
occasions, an
bien
ESPN
hecho,
natty
mijo,
for that
bien
matter.
hecho.
Played at Bayside High School. I played actually in that gym during my basketball days. Fabian tries to squeeze it past, but Rodriguez makes the save. Out of St. Joe's College, New York, Ecuador futsal, where he won a natty as well. U.S. street soccer champion. Yeah, Rodriguez has had a very interesting career. There we see Alan Perez. Alan Perez 1 goal shy of tying his career high. He's had 2 consecutive seasons here in Empire where he scored 9 goals.
Pretty good soccer IQ from the goalkeeper as well right there. You saw him just kind of escort the ball to the edge until someone came, because as soon as he picks it up, then the 4 count starts. Otherwise, it just continues to go. So a little, you know, just trying to take the seconds off the clock.
Herrera trying to cause some chaos. The captain, as we mentioned, now in his 201st regular season appearance.
El viejito mío,
steals it away. Then the Blast gets something creative built up here with 2:40 remaining here in the first
si está
quarter.
por ahí, viejito,
Pass comes into
sabes que te quiero
Ospina.
mucho.
Ospina.
Muchos saludos por ahí.
And that one gets kicked back over to Rodriguez. And we talk about the number of Brazilians that are in this league that are talented, but how about the Jamaicans between Frater and Palmer, Ramon Palmer in Kansas City? Tavoy Morgan, absolutely an incredible
Veamos que hay
target
mucho
forward playing for the
movimiento
San
aquí con el
Diego
24
Sockers.
que tiene la
Obviously that
bola.
man right there, the captain of the Empire Strykers. Munir Alami facing pressure in from O'Neal Fisher. Isak Somo.
I used to enjoy the conversations on the vans when Berta would call home.
Well, I mean, are you going to enlighten us with any kind of
No,
a
just
dialogue?
the accent and the, you know, the language they use back home, you know, just the slang and stuff. It was kind of, it was just cool. You know, Jamaican man, you know what I mean?
I was going to say, if you're going to tell us times, because Artie, for those that don't know, was the assistant coach of the then Ontario Fury, which changed into the Empire Strykers. I'd say you and I have gotten to know each other very well throughout the years. You were part of the technical staff alongside head coach Jimmy Nordberg, who was Major Arena Soccer League Coach of the Year. Obviously, through your son, Joseph the Jet Kyrell, may he rest in peace. You have significant ties to this sport and to this league.
Yeah, very, very grateful to the league and very fortunate to be here. Very blessed. Enjoying every minute of it.
Oh, I'm enjoying every minute with you, my man. Pass in from Palmer into Steven Chavez here in his first year in Southern California, formerly of the Texas Outlaws. And look at the defense by Nico Williams, trying to force a turnover, but that one takes an unfortunate bounce for the Blast right into the public address announcers table, where we see our good buddy Jason Hernandez letting everybody in the arena know what the deal is. Pass into Ali Somo. Somo here in his first year in Southern California, just a revelation, a kid who's got absolute speed. Pass into Shalir. Shalir in his second year in the MASL, over to Orozco. Orozco fires it in, and Orozco, don't be surprised if you see a goal or an assist from that young man. He's scored on multiple occasions, playing with the Guatemalan national futsal team. There's another attempt by Ali, and that takes a hard bounce into Justin Stinson. Stinson has St. Charles, Missouri. Spent part of his youth at the West Ham Youth Academy in England. We know that factory has produced a lot of incredible talents. Rio Ferdinand, Frank Lampard, legendary names in the outdoor world. 5 seconds
Ali trató de tirar la bola para allá, para el gol, pero no hubo éxito, como ustedes vieron ahí, fue bloqueada por el gol.
So both teams ending the first quarter here tied at 0-0 with the way they've both been operating. Baltimore Blast averaging 6.4 goals per game. The Strykers 5.2. Rather surprising that we don't have any goals in the first quarter. But for you new casual observers, stick around. So much more action to be had here.
Hubo un intento ahí, pero fallaron. El gol ahí ya interrumpió eso ahí. Mira, mira, casi. Cogen un gol ahí. Como veamos, estamos entrando ahora en anuncios, mi gente. Ya, yo cojo esta oportunidad de cuando estamos en anuncios para recordarles que se suscriban, le den un dedito para arriba, que si quieren pueden compartir conmigo en los comentarios y podemos pasar un momento agradable aquí, ¿verdad? En estos eventos. Y también lo invito a que se conviertan en parte de la comunidad de este nuevo canal. Para aquellas personas que están llegando y conociéndome a mí por primera vez, soy Juan Sabelo Todo, y dentro de las redes Juan Sabelo Todo Universo hay más de 36 canales ya. Y hay de todo, de educativo, animaciones, música, deporte, podcast, reseñas. Hay tantas cosas que yo mencionárselo en este solo momento interrumpiría el stream que estoy haciendo, la transmisión. A veces ustedes ven que juego un poco con las palabras porque estoy traduciendo de inglés a español en mi cabeza para tirarle a ustedes la información en español.
Here for giggles. Here for support. Here for healing.
Y encima de eso, hablando con las personas que me están hablando por otras redes sociales. Ustedes ven que yo me pongo en silencio, estoy contestando alguna pregunta como estoy haciendo ahora aquí en vivo.
Regional Hospital. Here for life.
Every Monday night on MASL TV and on CBS Sports, Golazo Network. Alex Baskavansky and Phil Ivanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics.
Loma Linda University Health and the Inland Empire Strykers have come together to support our community with a shared focus on health and fitness. The partnership reinforces both organizations' commitment to helping families thrive on and off the field. Together, we aim to build a stronger, healthier future for our Inland Empire region.
Follow MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter for the latest news on the MASL. And our final read here, game rebroadcast, MASL shows, highlights, and more, now available on YouTube at MASL TV. Folks, in the first quarter, the Empire Strykers would have 7 shots. Interestingly enough, we don't have any statistics on the Blast firing any away towards goalkeeper Brian Orozco. Thus far, it's been Empire controlling possession.
I think it's pretty clear Baltimore is well aware that the Strykers come out fast and we're perfectly comfortable to give away possession through the middle section and defend the yellow. I mean, although they gave up some shots, you know, they got through it unscathed, so.
Once again, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to KVCR PBS as we
de tratar de entrar un gol. Mientras tanto, el otro equipo, Blast, no ha hecho ni un solo intento al gol todavía. Y eso es lo que ustedes ven que están los locutores ahora mismo debatando y hablando sobre en su transmisión.
Strykers looking to find some space in between this Blast defense. The Blast have stood tall, and Rodriguez had made some incredible save of the week worthy performance saves as Alami fires it in. Bottom left corner where the dust mites dwell. The Strykers go up by a score of 1-0.
So he just short hit it. You can just see here, he just did a little half step hit. Just watch
ustedes vieron ahí otro intento, ya sea intento número 8. Miren ahí como estaba rejugando ahí con la bola, trató de entrar ese gol, pero no pudo. El número 8 ahora tiene la bola en mano. El 99 la pasa. El 5 le da una patada para allá, pero no hubo éxito.
As Ali Somo threaded the pass through, and for Alami, that is now his 11th goal of the season. He is the Strikers' leading scorer. Moroccan international, played with Morocco's U19 national team, or youth national team, I should say. Also featured in the first division. Lamy also a part of the bumpy pitch team that won that $1 million prize this past summer and carried North Carolina at the TST soccer tournament. As I mentioned earlier, he was on the short list for newcomer of the year in the league last year. But Chad Porch, wearing the number 4 for the Baltimore Blast, won that coveted trophy. And no surprise there, as he had 23 goals and 10 assists in his first year. Isak trying to work his way past Ospina into Fabian. Fabian, who did not feature for the Strikers this past Monday. Fabian not known to go back-to-back games. Head coach Anu Abassi looking to keep him clear. A shot, almost a goal of the week. Opportunity for the Blast as Brian Orozco was well outside of his box.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for those quick counters, quick changes. He let the ball roll above the yellow for no 3 lines, and then had a crack.
And Juan Pereira trying to harness in his inner Leo de Oliveira, who scored a goal from a similar distance against the Strikers this past Sunday at Front Wave Arena in Oceanside. Pereira, the captain of this team, also part of that incredible 3-peat Blast team, along with Jonatas Melo. Porch off of the Empire dasher board, and Palmer is going to hit the deck, fouled by Nico Williams, but that opens things up offensively. Shalir has Chavez. Chavez tries to slide that one through. Pass to Nuclear, as Nico Williams is going to get fouled by the Strikers' Ali Somo.
Very sluggish change on the Blast there. You know, I mean, they got the low boards too. I mean, there's no reason for that. They're just getting caught with the ball.
Ahí ya los Strikers otra vez con su bola. Los Blast ahí interceptan.
As Nascimento into Ospina.
Los Blast tienen la
bola.
Colombia
here in his second year with the Baltimore Blast.
Los Blast tienen control de la bola. Los Strikers que cogieron el control, mi gente.
As we're having a structure violation here at Toyota Arena. And shout out to our season ticket holder fans in the front row. That's the beauty of having Velcro for these dasher boards, in particular that National Core dasher board. So that's the beauty of not having the boards up, Marty. I know during COVID the boards were up, and it was a very polarizing aspect for a lot of the fans. They love being close to the game. And players love not having the boards there because as the ball would come out, they would get a breather. With the boards being up all around, as we saw in this building during COVID, that season, that shortened season in 2021, the game was significantly faster. For the viewers at home, that was exciting, but obviously for the fans in the building, not as much fun, not being able to participate. And there was an example right there. If you had the plexi up, those fans wouldn't have been able to contribute to fixing that dasher board.
Yeah, it changes the entire vibe of the arena when those boards were up.
Fui recientemente invitado a participar en estos eventos
Sao Paulo to Boston,
anfitrión.
Second year in the league.
Saben, ahora tengo que prepararme con equipos y cosas para poder brindarle a ustedes la mejor
Last year as a rookie, 23 games played, 18 goals. Wellington Bramus, affectionately known as Welly.
Bueno, esta gente está ahora metiéndole duro a esto
rookie year.
Con desesperación,
as the Strikers
quieren
have a 2-on-1.
meter su gol.
It's
ahí vuelven otra vez e intentan.
Goal in the upper shelf. Justin Stinson, dime dishing dynamo, connecting with Munir Olami. The Strikers go up 2-0.
Again, a giveaway. Got caught on numbers down, 2v1, head up, season opening, lay it off, tap in. Just unselfish play. I mean, the Strikers come quick. You know, they score in bunches, and the touch for the Blast
digo que metieron su gol, mi gente. Tan contenta esa gente. Ustedes vieron como eso le dio en la esquinita derecha de arriba. Yo dije, espérate, estoy buscando a ver porque como no veo muy bien en esta pantallita chiquita donde estoy transmitiendo, no sé si fue que le dieron que botaron la bola para afuera de bueno, se está poniendo buena la cosa, mi gente. Se está poniendo emocionante. Como pueden ver, ahí atentó otra vez de meter otro gol.
In this 25-26 campaign.
Los Blast trataron de meter su gol también y no tuvieron éxito.
Desire to share the ball, you know, just like what Justin just did, just, you know, getting it, creating the 2 versus 1 is 1v1 and 1v0. As soon as Justin created the 1v1, that left Alami 1v0. Guess what? Just tap and go, easy peasy.
And we had no goals in the first quarter. About 5 minutes here into the second, Strykers up 2-0, and we've seen how effective they've been when they've taken the lead at home early. There's an opportunity, very close call for the Blast. Shot comes back into the Strykers' possession. Stinson gets dispossessed by Silla. Over to Pereira, Pereira to Porch. Chad Porch out of Middleton, Delaware. He was MASL second team last year, played collegiately at High Point to start before becoming a Delaware Blue Hen. Speaking of which, in terms of graphics, the Delaware Blue Hens, an iconic graphic. NPSL, USL League 2, USL Championship with Charlotte Independence. Has established himself quite nicely here in the indoor game. Umar Silla, who enjoys contributing to his teammates as Robert Palmer tried to dish it off to Isak Somo. Welly on the counter, goes to his right to Mello. Mello trying to find Frater. Cleaned up by the Strykers, but picked up by Nascimento. Nascimento, 4th year in the league, 4th year with the Blast, did have a 5-year hiatus.
You saw the difference there between the attack. You know, Baltimore had a 3v2 and just a little bit of a wobble on that first pass and just set the entire timing off. So just execution is just slightly off. But the more they possess the ball, I think the more rhythm they're going to get. So that would be something for the Strykers to kind of try to negate a little bit. Don't let them get into a rhythm.
Thompson into Williams.
Yo debo decir la verdad,
esta
gente de los Strykers no están relajando con Blast. Oye, no le dejan que se queden con la bola un ratito ni matado. Desde que la tienen la bola se la quitan.
Did start his indoor career playing in the M2 with the Chicago
Mustangs. Hubo otro intento de hacer otro
Chicago
gol.
State University and Northern Illinois, while also competing in USL League 2. And also happy birthday to the young rookie.
Little fortuitous handball there because that ball was cleared in behind for the runner. So a little good fortune for the Strykers right now.
Pereira on the restart. That pass comes into the left side. Strykers are doing a good job preventing the Blast from really getting many clean looks. Restart in favor of the Empire. And for those wondering, no, Empire is not a reference to Star Wars. This team was once known as the Ontario Fury, and they are part of a region in Southern California, about 50 or so miles from downtown Los Angeles. This is the Inland Empire. So managing partner Jeff Burham opted to encompass this region, which is significantly populated, that doesn't have a major sports team, a lot of minor league teams, but hence the name Empire, sounding far more imposing than the Inland Empire Strykers. Empire Strykers sounds a bit more aggressive, a name that could really spark fear in the heart of the opposition. But no fear into Espina as he made his attempt. Strykers on a counter, a 3-on-2. Pass into Alami, Alami eyeing a Hattie. Stinson has it. Somehow manages to stay on, but excellent defense by Baltimore. Picked right back up by the Strykers. Fabian going for a highlight reel bicycle kick. Far too strong from the Mexican international. And that's going to take us to our second quarter media timeout here. Strykers go up by a score of 2-0, powered off of the back heels of their sophomore sensation, Munir Alami. They currently lead the Blast 2-0 as we head into break. 6:39 remaining here in the first half.
Estamos entrando ahora al tiempo, en medio tiempo de juego y otro break. Como podemos ver, entramos anuncios y este es el momento donde yo hablo con ustedes un poco.
Society has an obligation to help others when others are struggling. Families can become distressed because they lose their father. Now a mother's forced to raise their 3 children. How does she get a job? How does she create the means to take care of her kids?
For nearly 30 years, National Core and Hope Through Housing have changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals, providing housing, offering hope, transforming communities. National Core and Hope Through Housing, building the future of community.
Funding for this program is presented by MGR Real Estate, providing commercial sales and leasing, residential sales and leasing, residential and commercial property management, and homeowner association management. MGR Real Estate Services, proud sponsor of the Empire Strykers. We would like to thank our official hotel sponsor, Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center, a Hyatt affiliate hotel located 2 miles from the Ontario International Airport and 4 miles from the Ontario Convention Center. So Philly, during the break there, looking at Coach Bascom, his group has come out a little sluggish in his energy. I love watching him coach, man. I mean, he's just so energetic. He's really into it. I mean, he's on the board and he used his tie to wipe the board. That's a man that's committed to his vision right there.
Sacrificing his attire for the betterment of the Blast. No question about it. And look, we do acknowledge that there's a lot of people tuning in to this game that are not familiar with the sport. So I'm going to tell you a little history lesson as we go through the broadcast. Look, the Baltimore Blast have a significant history in the sport of indoor soccer. 10 titles over the course of their illustrious history. 83, 84, 03, 04, 06, 08, 09, 13, 16. And in the modern MASL era, they won in 2015, 2016, 2016, 17 season, 2017, 2018 season against some very talented Mexican teams. The Monterrey Flash, Solis de Sonora, as Brian Orozco lays in on the miter. This is a team that is highly successful. One of the jewels of the great city of Baltimore, and a team with just an illustrious history with some fantastic fans and a great atmosphere. If you ever get the opportunity to catch a Baltimore Blast game, forget the Ravens, folks. Check out the Blast. That's the ticket anytime you visit Maryland.
It's always a blast to watch the Blast.
Well,
I mean, that crowd is awesome.
Oh, 100%.
The crowd is awesome. The energy there is crazy. I mean, it's just definitely a home field advantage.
For the Empire Strykers, they were a team that were established in 2013 as the Ontario Fury, rebranded in 2022 to the Empire Strykers. They were a team that in their best season, which was the 2014-2015 season, they went 13-7. They did manage to go to the Ron Newman Cup Finals in 2021, where they lost here at home on this turf, on this very turf, to the San Diego Sockers. 12 years they've been in the league. And a very exciting team that is at the forefront of doing a lot of great things to help elevate this league, bringing on players of the likes of Jermaine Jones years ago. Jermaine Jones, the U.S. international, obviously Marco Fabian. The pass in and an excellent goal by Chad Porch, last season's newcomer of the year. Baltimore Blast and the blemish. It is now 2-1.
Yeah, you know, as I indicated earlier, I was talking to Coach Chewy about, you know, goalkeeper distribution and catching him in behind, and that's what we saw here. Just kind of over the top, a little late on the rotation, a great reception and hit. So it's tough, you know, because Brian's on this, his left post had to rotate over, had a look, and guy was free for that, you know, 2-touch hit. So, I mean, that's the one thing the Strikers have to be aware is they're dynamic and they want to go. They've got to make sure, you know, you mentioned Coach Nordenberg earlier, you know, his biggest thing was balance, you know, making sure you've got that balance on the back end so you don't get caught like that.
Porch now with his 12th goal of the season, and an important goal for the Blast as they look to shake up the momentum that's been largely controlled by the Empire Strykers, courtesy of that man, Munir Olami. Pass into Fabian. Fabian into Diaz-Gonzalez. Diaz-Gonzalez, the secret is out. Only played in 3 games last season, but did manage 3 goals in those 3 games. This season, he's obviously had a more significant contribution to head coach Onuobasi's system. Onuobasi was last season's MASL Coach of the Year. He too has ties to the Baltimore Blast, having been a player during some of their championship runs. So I know that Coach Obasi has a lot of affection towards Ed Hale and the Baltimore Blast organization, as he was a part of them. He also was a part of this team as well, the Ontario Fury, and as a player, traveling with the team, going down to Mexico to call the games for the then Fury/Strykers. While a lot of the players are sleeping on the airplane between travel, Obasi was there watching film, cutting tape, creating programs for the kids that he was coaching, and it's no surprise that he's become a head coach. Obviously very successful in the small-sided game. He was originally going to coach in Danbury until he got convinced to come here to Southern California. And I know Obasi out of Birmingham, England, probably looked at his experience growing up in Birmingham, playing in Baltimore, also playing in Rochester, USL, and figured, I could get some sun in the winter. I wouldn't mind that. He's been highly successful as a coach, bringing the Strykers back into the postseason last year for the first time since 2021. 3:25 remaining in the second quarter. Stinson trying to make short work of Nico Williams, who was standing on his ground. Second year for Williams in the league out of Chicago, Illinois. Chi-Town has produced some incredible indoor talent. Stinson over to Fabian. Those two had a lot of chemistry with one another last season. Never was good at the sciences when I was a student myself, but I do recognize chemistry when I see it. And Stinson and Fabian were very dynamic with one another. As Welly connects with it. Tough touch, but whistle is blown on the turf.
Yeah, just stopped the counter right there. Again, you know, I mean, Baltimore is just perfectly comfortable allowing Strykers to play in certain spots of the field, and they want to catch them on that counter. So, you know, very good tactical foul to stop that. But I think, you know, right now Baltimore's okay with the score and going to, you know, stick to their game plan. Obviously, you know, those quick goals for the Strykers weren't part of it, but I think they're all said and done. They're okay with where they are right now.
Rodriguez tried to go into Guevara, but Palmer was there to intercept. Nello back over to Rodriguez. Nello, an incredible story. There was a great story with him, by the way, in 2019 in a game against the Mississauga Metro Stars. He proposed to his then girlfriend at the time, and she did say yes. I believe it was a goal in which the then Baltimore Blast player Andrew Hoxie, who had the best mustache I've ever seen, contributed to the goal by Mello, and he had let his teammates know, and, well, his soon-to-be fiance's family, that he was going to propose after scoring a goal. And I had a conversation with him earlier today, and when talking to the family to ask for their hand, for their permission, they said, well, what if you don't score? And he said, well, no, I'm going to score. He put a lot of pressure on himself, but would eventually score. And, well, the good news is he didn't get a blue card or get kicked out of the game, and still married now happily with 2 kids. And I bring that story up because there was a very similar one here on this turf with Thiago Gonçalves, who did the same thing, proposed to his girlfriend, and he actually got kicked out of the game by the officials. So favoritism for Mello back then? Maybe, I don't know, but Mello, the co-founder of the Golazo Skills Academy, big time in the community. He has such a passion for this game and doing a lot of great things in the community of Baltimore, trying to develop the next generation of talent in the indoor game, the outdoor game, the futsal game. Does it get any better than that young man on the ball, passing to his teammate of several years, Juan Pereira. Oh, the stories these two share, just unbelievable journeys in the Major Arena Soccer League. As that pass comes in to Ospina, back over to Nico. And Nico's going to hit the deck. Foul against Empire with 63 ticks of the second quarter game clock remaining. Nascimento Has it back off that pass from Guevara. Thompson. With some spaces, Bramus. Welly gets dispossessed by Shalir. Under a minute to go.
Están joseando, te digo que la verdad, los Blast están joseando. Porque ellos quieren también ponerse en la pizarra.
I don't think so. Can't do it. And that pass right there, top of the arc
No es por
restart.
falta
Baltimore Blast now have an incredible opportunity
que no
to
están
find the
cogiendo
equalizer
puntos.
here with
Es
45
que
seconds
el
remaining.
juego no está para ellos. Mira, el 88 lleva una emoción. Ahí está,
And that's a
está como
dangerous
se
group. We see
vio como que está
Pereira,
medio
we see Mello, we see
enojado
Thompson,
con
we
el
see
equipo,
Silla,
parece
we see
un
number 19 Guevara.
O no sé si es que
These
el
are some
88
scary,
es el capitán de
players.
este equipo, pero
And they're pretty well versed with this, you know, because
hay mucha emoción, hay
you get
mucha
these set pieces
emoción,
a
hay
lot
mucha
in
emoción.
Baltimore.
The back heel pass, the opportunity, and there's the equalizer. Just as the broadcasters predicted it. You can't give a top-of-the-arc restart for a team.
Mira, ya por fin metieron una.
¡Gol! It is now 2-2.
Again, just a little.
¡Gol! Oye, metió esa bola por entre medio de todos los jugadores. Tremendo, tremendo gol. ¡Gol!
His ability and his experience. And we're tied.
42.8 seconds. That took the wind out of the sails of this crowd. Crowd starting to filter in here in Southern California when there's a little bit of rain. What the rest of this country would consider normal, the rest of Southern California would consider apocalyptic. But fans are starting to pile in here. There's an attempt. That was a close call as Fabian's attempt did take a deflection, almost threaded through the twine. As Hernandez goes in to Orozco. Strikers have had success scoring just as the second quarter game clock was about to expire, although I don't see Alan Perez, who was the goal scorer on a couple of occasions. Fabian goes into his left. Not sure if Hernandez sees how much time is left. Fabian's going to blast it. Pereira with the deflection, and that's going to end the second quarter. We had no goals in the first 15 minutes. We've seen 4 here in the second quarter. This is the beauty of the indoor game. Anything can happen, and you're ready. And for those neutral parties, you're already being treated to one heck of a game here. 4 goals in the second frame of 15 minutes. We are going into the half with both teams equal at 2-2.
Just a tactical. Both teams recognizing each other's strengths, playing and accounting for it. Strikers came through, scored very quickly, and those they got them bundled, and then the Blast just methodically came through, and then that unfortunate, you can't give away set pieces.
No, and that was an unfortunate play for the Strikers that led to the top of the arc restart. And despite the fact that the Strikers statistically have 12 shots to the Blast's 2, the Blast are operating on 100% efficiency. 2 goals off of 2 shots. It doesn't get any better than that for head coach David Bascom.
Again, they're just very comfortable. Con la ola. That's one of the things. Bueno. When you're playing footy,
yo hallo como que ese gol y como que se salió demasiado.
¡Ay! I'm going to give you this space. Is it really possession? Are you really gaining anything? Are you just being allowed to do something? And that's sort of what happened here. Was that the Strikers were allowed to play in certain gaps. They were defending, the Blast were defending the yellow and extending out, and they're looking to catch them on the counters.
Él entró esa bola por el frente del equipo, de mitad del equipo o menos, ¿verdad?
All right, folks, we're going to kick it down to our sideline correspondent, Amanda Philliman, and she stands by with head coach of the Empire Strykers, Onu Obasi.
Hey guys, I'm here with Coach Anu Obasi. A lot of offensive chances have been created, just not.
Yo pensaba que yo iba a oír esa conversación de esa mujer ahí, pero.
Team is really doing and setting up their shot.
Yeah, first quarter was good. A lot of possession, a lot of shots, which is what you want. Second quarter, obviously they're a good team, so they're going to have spells, and they were able to possess the ball a little bit, and obviously their goal was amazing finish, the first one.
No lo oigo.
I think, obviously we want to be a little bit more dangerous. I thought in the second quarter we got a little passive, and then we defended for long stretches.
I mean, defensively, you guys are really holding them to hardly any shots. They've just been able to really capitalize on the few that they've had. How do you come out in the second quarter and shut them down and thwart any kind of comeback that you know
el coach te está hablando de que parte de la misión de ellos es coger la bola o el control de la bola lo más posible. Ella lo está entrevistando y preguntándole que si las cosas están yendo más o menos como yo la planificaba.
2-2,
it's a brand new ball game for the second half. Can't wait to see how it shapes up.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Amanda Filliman. Thank you, head coach Obasi, as we head into
Bueno,
the half.
Yo
12 shots for the Strikers, 2 for the Blast, 2 goals from Near Alami for the Empire. Chad Porch and Jairo Guevara would score for the Blast. We're going to step aside for halftime. Stick around. We got some interviews and some stats for you, and hope you're enjoying this game. The NASL on KBCR, PBS, and Fox
Yo voy a
Soccer
conseguir
Plus.
los audífonos, me lo voy a programar para poder oír esa información aquí, para yo rendir a ustedes una mejor transmisión. Pero recuerden, hoy es mi primer día, es una invitación que me llegó hace un par de días, hubieron un par de complicaciones, las resolví, hubieron un par de complicaciones hoy, las resolví. Y poquito a poquito esto va a quedar perfecto, como a mí me gusta tener mis cosas. Ustedes saben que yo mis canales lo corro, muy bonito, muy perfecto.
Corky's Homestyle Kitchen and Bakery, where good food and good feelings come standard. Our team serves up an array of made-from-scratch, home-style favorites for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with fresh-baked goodies straight from the oven. Inspired by Grandma Corky herself, every dish is made with the freshest ingredients and a keeping helping of love. Her spirit lives on in every bite, filling more than just your belly. It fills your heart, too. So come join our family here at Corky's, where friendly faces, honest cooking, and quality food are just the way we do things.
Transmitírselo a ustedes. Estoy aquí adivinando. Pero estamos viendo que estamos pasando un buen momento. Los jugadores están haciendo su trabajo. En la primera parte de la primera sesión del juego, como que estaba un poquito lento, flojo la cosa. Me imagino que era que se estaban calentando y tal vez ya después que cogieron el segundo aire los jugadores fue como que se soltaron. Pero se está mejorando. Yo espero que ustedes estén pasando un tremendo tiempo conmigo. Pero le agradezco su tiempo aquí. Y quiero que no se le olvide suscribirse. Darle un dedito para arriba. Compartir aquí conmigo con su comentario para que hablemos un poco. También, mi gente, déjenme saber a sus amistades lo que les gusta en su deporte. De que hay un canal nuevo, ¿verdad? Que va a estar transmitiendo en vivo sin costo ninguno a ustedes los deportes. Y no solamente eso, también quiero alcanzar la juventud latina que está dejando de interesarse en el deporte. El deporte es algo muy importante en la vida de nosotros los humanos. No solamente cuando estamos creciendo, que también nosotros participamos en estos juegos y cosas así, pero también para el futuro de los juegos. Porque imagínense, si eliminamos ese deseo de ver una jugada de pelota, una jugada de fútbol, una jugada de fútbol americano, baloncesto, cualquier cosa así, y comienza a desaparecerse esa cosa, entonces ¿qué decir que nosotros vamos a estar 24 horas delante de una pantalla? Tal vez un celular tirando videos de cortos de eso y no haciendo nada con nuestra vida que sea progresivo, algo que unifica a la familia, que es cuando usted se sienta con su familia, con sus hijos, participar, hablar de lo que está pasando en una jugada, en un juego, esa emoción, ¿verdad? Que es tradicional, no solamente con nosotros los latinos, pero en el mundo entero, global, porque los juegos vienen desde mucho tiempo atrás, ¿verdad? Vienen desde los tiempos después de Cristo, ¿verdad? Y antes que Cristo. Entonces vamos a tratar de ver si la juventud también echa para acá. Yo les invito a que vengan a pasar un momento aquí con Juan Sabelo Todo. Disfruten aquí, pongan sus preguntas ahí en los comentarios. Disfruten, aprendan el juego si no lo conocen. Lo invito a todas esas cosas que van a estar pasando por aquí en este canal, en vivo, mi gente. Y ya ustedes saben, y también de estos videos yo voy a agarrar, voy a hacer clips pequeños en videos cortos, y también voy a tener ese evento a donde yo hablo de los diferentes deportes y cuáles son las reglas y cómo es que se juega y cosas así, para aquellas personas que no tienen un conocimiento tal vez de algún tipo de juego puedan entender bien lo que está pasando y lo que están mirando para que disfruten mejor el juego. También esas cosas van a estar sucediendo aquí con JuanSabeloTodoDeporte, y va a ser para el beneficio no solamente suyo, pero el beneficio de su familia, porque es bueno todavía sacarle tiempo y unirnos con nuestros hijos y cosas, y hablar sobre algo que está pasando en el juego, ¿verdad? Porque eso hace que se haga una unión más fuerte familiar, un enlace, ¿verdad? Que sea más poderoso, cosa que cuando usted la comparte con sus hijos, ellos se recuerdan de eso. Y esas conexiones que uno hace mientras que los hijos están jóvenes son las mejores conexiones, porque son las que duran, son las que perduran, porque después que ya los hijos crecen y cosas así, ya los hijos comienzan a tener como ver a los padres como enemigos, que saben más que los padres y cosas así, y ya hay una desconexión ahí cuando hay esa etapa de verdad, cuando el niño ya está desarrollando y cosas. Pero si tú haces usted se une con sus hijos pequeños, ese amor que ellos cogen en su corazón dura el tiempo entero de la vida de ellos y de la vida suya. Entonces estos son momentos que usted puede pasar haciendo esas cosas para hacer esas conexiones, ¿verdad? Familiares, y no solamente eso, crear esas memorias que van a lograr que sus hijos tengan una experiencia que sea inolvidable, que no se olviden, usted sabe. Entonces, estos son, por eso todavía en los juegos unifican la familia, cuando uno saca el tiempo para uno integrar, ¿verdad? Y sembrar esa semilla en esos seres queridos de uno, que uno ama, ¿verdad? Entonces yo le quiero poner durante este anuncio una musiquita para que ustedes la oigan, en lo que yo me tomo un poquito de agua y cojo un breve break aquí.
¡JuanSabeloTodo! ¡Deporte en vivo! ¡JuanSabeloTodo! Luces encendidas, ya se siente la presión. El estadio vibra fuerte con cada transmisión. Desde el fútbol hasta el cáliz y el balón, aquí vivimos cada jugada con pasión. Desde la cancha hasta la narración, aquí no es solo juego, es emoción. Si suena el silbato, comienza la acción. Quédate conectado, sube el volumen, campeón. No olvides suscribirte para no perderte ninguno de mis eventos. Si eres fanático de los deportes, mi canal es el que debes seguir. Y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos. JuanSabeloTodoDeporte llegó para quedarse. Busca JuanSabeloTodoDeporte en YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram o Facebook. En YouTube primero estamos creciendo, en Twitch encendiendo, seguimos subiendo. Cada jugada la estamos viviendo. JuanSabeloTodo transmitiendo. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. JuanSabeloTodo, puro motor. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. JuanSabeloTodo, puro motor. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. JuanSabeloTodo, puro motor. Ahora sí, ahora seguimos aquí. La energía nunca va a morir. Cada partido listo para ti. Comenta, comparte, quédate en mí. No importa el marcador, aquí celebramos cada gol, cada strike, cada control. La vibra sube sin temor. Twitch encendido, público activo, YouTube creciendo, todo positivo. TikTok e Insta vienen después, pero aquí comenzamos otra vez. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Oh, you better goles sobre el ring. Goles, crowd gritando win. Este stream no tiene fin. Juan sabelo todo, let's begin. Sube la adrenalina, se siente la rutina. Streaming día tras día, construyendo disciplina. Somos familia deportiva, aquí la vibra es positiva. Si te gusta el juego real, este es tu canal.
Déjame saber si en los comentarios si les gusta esa música.
La pasión la llevo conmigo.
Y para que ustedes sepan, también estamos en la música mía.
Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol, wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan sabelo todo, puro motor. La pasión la llevo conmigo. El deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol, wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan sabelo todo, puro motor. La pasión la llevo conmigo. El deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol, wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan sabelo todo, puro motor.
Estamos aquí para eso.
Deporte en vivo.
Todos los días esa
Juan sabelo todo.
Seguimos en vivo. No olvides suscribirte para no perderte ninguno de mis eventos. Si eres fanático de los deportes, mi canal es el que debes seguir. Y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos.
Juan sabelo todo. Deporte en vivo. Juan sabelo todo. Luces encendidas, ya se siente la presión. El estadio vibra fuerte con cada transmisión. Desde el fútbol hasta el cáliz y el balón. Aquí vivimos cada jugada con pasión. Desde la cancha hasta la narración. Aquí no es solo juego, es emoción. Si suena el silbato, comienza la acción. Quédate conectado, sube el volumen, campeón. No olvides suscribirte para no perderte ninguno de mis eventos. Si eres fanático de los deportes, mi canal es el que debes seguir. Y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos. Juan sabelo todo deporte, llegó para quedarse. Busca Juan sabelo todo deporte en YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram o comienza la acción. Quédate conectado, sube el volumen, campeón. Suscríbete para no perderte ninguno.
Entonces, como sabemos, estamos en medio tiempo, mi gente, y están enseñando otros juegos que han pasado, así mismo como ustedes pueden ver, en este estilo de juego de fútbol que es dentro, ¿verdad? Cerrado, porque están en un dome cerrado, a donde la grama y el suelo y cosas tiene una capa artificial, ¿verdad? Para dar la sensibilidad de que usted está afuera en un parque viendo un juego, ¿verdad que sí? Eso es lo que ustedes están viendo, y la forma que crearon este estilo es para cuando hay malos tiempos afuera, que la naturaleza ustedes saben cómo es, no dañen los juegos y cosas así. Entonces, recuérdense, si no se han suscrito, de suscribirse, porque ahorita se le olvida. Entonces, para que no se le olvide, agarre y prende la campanita, que después que se suscriba, y póngale todas las notificaciones, para que así le lleguen los otros eventos de deporte que van a estar transmitiéndose por aquí en vivo. Y son muchos los que vienen. Son muchos, entonces estamos hablando en todas las ramas de deporte. Tenis, básquetbol, fútbol americano, fútbol latino, como están viendo ustedes ahora. Lucha libre, como vieron anteriormente en mi primera transmisión, que fue horrible, porque ahí fue que pasó toda la cosa. Todo lo que no tenía que pasar, pasó ahí. Pero, con eso dicho, recuerden, usted comparte este canal en sus redes sociales de ustedes, lo comparten con amistades, familiares, y no solamente eso, compártanlo también si la persona que está aquí ahora mismo presente está mirando, por ejemplo, un adulto, compártelo con sus hijos para que los hijos de ustedes también agarren y cojan el amor del juego. para que así te puedan pasar tiempo con ellos, ¿verdad? Y hablar sobre el juego y buscar, por ejemplo, una emoción que sea integrada familiar. Nosotros a veces digamos, oh, porque los hijos no quieren nada con uno, que esto, que lo otro, que están metidos en el celular el día entero. Pero también a veces tenemos como adultos que poner de nuestra parte y buscar la sabiduría, ¿verdad? Y cómo integrar a nuestros hijos en cosas así como deporte, para que ellos disfruten y pasen momentos agradables con su madre o su padre, y tú ves, con los familiares que son más adultos, y haga esa conexión temprano en la vida de los hijos de ustedes, ¿verdad? Compartiendo estos momentos donde de alegría, donde un equipo o le ganó o le perdió, porque el que recibe lo que ganó tiene que recibir también el que perdió. Eso es así. Como podemos ver aquí, están tirando un anuncio donde estos deportistas van a los sitios como los hospitales, los centros médicos, a donde hay gente que está malita y cosas, a compartir un momento con ellos y cosas así para quitarle la mente de lo que está pasando en la vida de ellos, como puede ser cáncer, tumores, son tantas las enfermedades que andan por ahí, ¿verdad? Que nos plagan a nosotros los seres humanos. Y ellos están poniendo de su parte para ayudar a no solamente que tengan una recuperación, pero tal vez que por un momento no tengan que estar pensando en su enfermedad y cosas así. Y eso fue lo que ustedes estuvieron viendo ahí en pantalla. Y obviamente aquí estamos viendo ahora anuncios y cosas así. Es parte del deporte, los anuncios y cosas así, ya eso es parte del deporte. Los anuncios es parte de todo en la vida de uno prácticamente. Siempre han existido, siempre van a existir. Y eso es así. Con eso dicho, mi gente, recuerden que este es JuanSabeloTodoDeporte. Es solamente un canal dentro de una rama de más de 36 canales en lo que se llama el JuanSabeloTodo Universo. Que viene siendo la sombrilla que capta todos los canales, ¿verdad? Y estamos ahí en eso, fajados. Estaba todo antes en un solo canal y eso fue un rebú porque había demasiadas cosas juntas. Y eso se convirtió en 36 canales cuando se separó todo. Pero estamos aquí. Yo espero que les guste esta transmisión. Espero que tengan deseo o queden con el deseo de venir a compartir conmigo en otra partida de otro capítulo de deporte. Y espero que se sientan cómodos aquí. Compartan conmigo, déjenme en sus comentarios si quieren ver algo específicamente, que yo ya te salgo. Vamos a ponernos para atrás el juego, que ya comenzó, y vamos a ver el desarrollo de esto.
En YouTube primero estamos creciendo, en Twitch tendiendo, seguimos subiendo, cada jugada la estamos viviendo, Juan Sabelo todo transmitiendo en vivo.
Tenemos aquí ya, recuérdense que ya estamos en la tercera parte del juego. Acabamos de terminar el medio tiempo y esto ha comenzado caliente. El 33 tiene la bola. Y como ustedes pueden ver, mi gente, un gol, mi gente. Un gol, mi gente. Gol, mi gente. Un gol, un gol, un gol, un gol, un gol, un gol. Mira eso, mira eso, mira eso, mi gente. Adentro, mi gente, para adentro, para adentro, para adentro. Ya te sabes, está caliente este hombre. Esta gente le han dado, de verdad que le han dado súper duro. Le han dado súper duro a Blast. Está fuerte esto. Esta gente no está relajando. Tan fuerte. Yo no sé. Me imagino que tiene que estar desesperado. El otro equipo, el que está vestido en morado con negro. Los Blast, ya ustedes saben. Y esto no está fácil. Oye, lo tienen a jugo desde ahorita.
Este stream no tiene fin, Juan Sabelo todo. Sube la adrenalina.
Ahí tienen la posición de nuevo los Strykers. La posición de la bola. Los Blast, ¿qué pasó ahí? Un foul llamaron. Ah, pero ustedes vieron eso. Ustedes vieron que patá. No estuvo bien eso ahí, ¿no?
Down the road.
Yeah, I mean, they've been very tactical tonight. It just comes down to execution. I mean, and individual effort for Marco on that one. So, I mean, we got to see how the game grows and how they kind of elevate a little bit more.
We mentioned that they're really talented and they have a bright future ahead of them. But look, there's a team that very capable of making the playoffs. This Melo shot saved by Orozco. Jonatas Melo out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Top 10 in points, goals, and assists. Here, having spent a decade playing for the Blast. Out of Sao Paulo, played professional futsal in Italy.
Esa bola, ya tú sabes.
And then thanks to a friend of his, goalkeeper by the name of William Van Zella, he found his way into the MASL playing for the Blast, and well, he's got deep roots here in the city of Baltimore. I can't say here because we're in the city of Ontario, but he has nothing but amazing things to say.
Hubo un intento ahí, fue interceptado ahí, ustedes vieron.
And I was going to say, it must have taken some incredible salesmanship to drag you out of Italy to go to Baltimore as Porch's shot blasts in and ricochets into Isak. That ball's going to ping-pong, pinball around between both teams. But yeah, just finishing the thought on Nello, just with his goal, with his academy, Golasso, and just the roots that he's implemented, a beloved figure in the city of Baltimore.
So Baltimore kind of letting them fly a little bit more from distance so far in this quarter. See if that's an ongoing change or they're going to work to break him down again.
Baltimore looking to blast their way into a tie here. I was kind of waiting for that one. Frater almost found one past Orozco. He just caught too much under his boot. So that one's going to be a goalkeeper restart for the Strykers. Alan Perez out of Van Nuys, California. Almost connected in with Stinson, but he gets muscled off of the ball by Thompson. Well, he goes back. Tried to go back, I should say. His pass too nuclear. Ball is going to corral itself back into the possession of Stinson. Stinson into Perez. Perez, who collegiately played in the Big West Conference Division I at the University of California, Riverside. Somo, the talent that he has, and he nearly goes upper left corner. Somo, I know he's been having a ton of fun since joining his brother here in Southern California. The Somo brothers, just dynamic players, really quick, really fast sprinters, as we have a player down on the turf for the Empire, as we see who that is. Trying to get that was Fabian. Fabian's going to get lifted up by Blast goalkeeper Julian Rodriguez. And we also want to congratulate Marco Fabian on recently getting married. Wasn't that long ago where he was the star of a reality TV show on Peacock, a dating show featuring professional footballers that moonlighted as quote-unquote ordinary people trying to find love. Fabian, the biggest name out of all the names. Pereira
Fabian,
gets dispossessed
que
by
juega para los
Chavez.
Strykers.
Incredible
Él
defense
es
by the
muy
former
conocido
Texas
porque
Outlaw.
él
And Manir
josea
Alami's
mucho
gonna
y entra mucho gol y
boot it past
cosas.
the midfield, recovered
Como
by
ustedes
Melo
vieron
into
ahí, él
Porch.
intentó
Porch
ahí,
scored the
cayó
Blast's first goal
y los
of the
compañeros
game.
lo estaban ayudando a recogerlo de la
And it's
caída.
all been youngsters, really, Artie, that have scored in this game, minus Marco Fabian.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he's not a youngster. Compared to you and I, he's significantly younger than you and I. I've jokingly said you've been around since Burger King was a prince, but I can't say I'm that much younger than you are.
I think my feelings are hurt, Philly.
No, they're not. I've recycled that joke time and time again. It's just our friends from Baltimore now get to hear it.
Well, it's not a good time to be a prince of any kind right now.
That's a fair statement. That's a fair statement. Sila, who's had 50 games in the Major Arena Soccer League.
Well, the youngsters have been very excited.
Se están ahora, los locutores están ahora mismo relajando uno con el otro, de que nacieron cuando existía el príncipe de Burger King.
Sila's going to blast it just above the netting, just above the crossbar, and above the hands of Brian Orozco. It's going to be a goalkeeper restart to the Guatemalan futsal nationalist who spent his youth career in between Guatemala City and Riverside, California, which, believe it or not, the fourth most populous city in the state of California. Also was on the U17 for Guatemalan giant club Comunicaciones. You follow Major League Soccer, Comunicaciones, a team that's consistently in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which we're now currently seeing going on. The local teams are competing here. LAFC recently was in Honduras having won. The LA Galaxy, I believe, are playing tonight. Fabian connects in with Stinson. Fabian with ties to both the Galaxy and LAFC, having spent time with players that have featured on both teams with the Mexican international side. We're talking about Chicharito for the Galaxy and, of course, Carlos Vela for LAFC. 8:20 remaining here in the third quarter. Palmer into Stinson. The Stinger, as we like to call him, trying to find his pass into Fabian. With Orozco being outside of the net, that was a close call for Baltimore. And for those wondering why he keeps coming out, the goalkeeper for head coach Anu Abasi of the Empire Strykers, they like to utilize the goalkeeper offensively. And with Brian's ability to score from distance, something that he's proven time and time again, including a goal against the Blast when they last met on February the 1st. When he comes out, the Strikers live by the sword and die by the sword. As a foul and a whistle gets blown onto the turf, Shalir is going to get picked right back up. Beautiful display of sportsmanship by Nico Williams of the Blast. Palmer on the restart finds Stinson. Stinson looking to get his way past the yellow line, fires it, punched away by Rodriguez. Thompson passes to himself. A little bit of trouble as the Stinger nearly regains possession for Empire. Ball is in the corner, intercepted by Somo, but that's going to be a foul assessed to the Strikers. 7:19 remaining here in the third quarter. Only goal scored thus far by Marco Fabian, 38 seconds into the opening moments of this third quarter. The Blast did score 2 unanswered goals to tie this game in the second quarter after the Strikers' sophomore sensation Munir Alami would find his way into the back of the net. Wellington Broncos still sticking with it. Not something anything that's going to appear on the stat sheet, but that was some world-class ability to maintain possession. As Portugal gets possessed by Perez, he's got Shalir charging with him on the counter.
Mira, no
but
lo
he
vieron.
telegraphs the pass, and Pereira picks it off.
Three-line pass. So three-line passes when a ball travels over both yellow lines. It results in a free kick back on the first yellow line it passed over.
Fair to say the indoor soccer equivalent of hockey's icing?
Definitely.
¿Tú viste cómo lo jalaron?
Congratulations to the women's Olympic team. I saw that game.
I believe we have a congratulations to the men's side as well, having defeated Sweden the other night, and they're going to be playing in the quarterfinals against, I believe, Slovakia tomorrow. Stinson on the yellow line on the restart, tries to chip it. That's going to come off of the back of Ospina. Striker still trying to control it. Stinson into Fabian. Fabian already with a goal today. Into Hernandez. Hernandez going by the nickname Marco. Oh, how I'm dying to make a Marco/Polo goal call here. Only for the simple fact that I loved playing that game as a kid. Diaz Gonzalez, who has been red hot in his appearances for the Strikers. Foot race as Hernandez goes back into Orozco. 6:07 here remaining in the third quarter.
Well played by Polo because he played the ball with his knee. Brian was able to use his hands to receive the ball. Had he played that with his feet, he wouldn't be able to pick it up.
Polo out of Sacramento, California. Featured for the UC Riverside Highlanders, along with Alan Perez. It's part of that 2023 Big West regular season and conference tournament championship team. led by head coach Tim Capello. UC Riverside has produced a significant amount of talent. Shot saved by Rodriguez. Thompson cleans it. Strykers have a player down. Looks like it's Andy Reyes. Strykers are on the counter still. Reyes getting back up. And we have a structure. I was going to say fault, not foul. As the dasher board comes down, Reyes, though, back up on his feet. And the official's going to hold off. Kia DePana blows his whistle, because that could potentially be, well, something that the players would run into, as the recovery lab dasher board gets picked right back up. And that's going to send us to immediate timeout here with 5:14 remaining. Marco Fabian puts the Strykers up here in the third quarter, up by a score of 3-2. We'll be back on the other side of this break.
Intentaron ahí entrar el gol, pero lo bloquearon, Quedan 5 minutos y 14 segundos. Estamos entrando en otro timeout, mi gente. Como ustedes pueden ver, pasamos a anuncios. Con eso dicho, yo también voy a coger un brequecito de un pronto, mi gente, y regreso ahora.
For 30 years, National Core has been transformed, building communities where our residents and neighbors can thrive, and providing homes for your Empire Strykers. Affordable, high quality, secure housing. Core, home of the Empire Strykers.
When your heart needs a helping hand, you want the best, most advanced treatment available. We know there's strength and expertise. That's why for over 50 years, we've been a trusted provider of heart care in the region, specializing in minimally invasive surgical techniques, from treating in heart and complex endovascular procedures. Our specialists are here to support strong, healthy hearts. Loma Linda University International Heart Institute. Many strengths, one mission.
Children and families in Inland Empire and beyond through after-school programs and financial coaching. To learn more and see how Hope is making a difference, visit hopethroughhousing.org. San Antonio Regional Hospital is a proud sponsor of the Empire Strykers, keeping our community strong, healthy, and active for over 115 years. San Antonio Regional Hospital, here for life. Tonight, we would like to give a special thank you to GoCal, your official destination guide to the Inlands. Discover the best of Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, and the surrounding region. From top-tier dining and entertainment to family fun and outdoor adventure, GoCal showcases the best our region has to offer, whether you're new to the area or local looking for something fresh. GoCal has you covered. Discover more at gocal.org.
Plenty to do in the Inland Empire, including heading on over to an Empire Strykers game, the fastest and most exciting show on turf here in the Inland Empire, and home of the only major sports team. A lot of great talent has come out of the Inland Empire in several different sports. Brian Orozco, as he tried to find Somo. Oh. Thompson gets in, and there's a collision between two players. Orozco goes down, trying to get visual confirmation as who that is for Baltimore. It looks like it's number 6, Nico Williams. That had to hurt.
Yeah, that was very close to getting a blue for sure. I mean, he angled over the edge of him so that, you know, he was definitely looking to avoid it. But he was pretty close to plowing Mr. Orozco right there.
50-50 ball, you can argue. Orozco, as tough as it comes.
It ain't a game if Brian isn't getting knocked down.
That's true. He has hit the deck a time or two. Chavez into Orozco.
Yeah.
And that's going to come out, almost taking out one of our fans. In fact, our team photographer, Fanny, almost took one to the dome piece. Luckily, she had her back turned towards it. An excellent soccer player within her own right. Welly stuck in some Strykers traffic. Porch trying to clear his way through. He does. He's going to get pushed down, fouled by Alami. The two candidates for newcomer of the year who have contributed significantly offensively. Porch with the first goal for the Blast. Alami has 2 goals and an assist to his credit. He's going to lead to Melo on a restart. Keep your eyes peeled for number 19, Jairo Guevara, who is on that far post momentarily open. Sila right into the hands of Orozco. He's going to let it fly, connecting with Diaz-Gonzalez. Sila closes in the gap. Diaz-Gonzalez's shot comes off of the Omnitrans dasher. Perez. Alami trying to keep it in. A header into Bramus. Welly. Sila. Sila, who in that interview with Michael Lewis mentioned the fact that he loves contributing to the success of his teammates, preferring an assist as opposed to a goal, as he's one of the top pass masters here in the MASL this season. Stinson somehow maintains the touch. He is magic anytime he has the ball to his feet.
That's a pet peeve right there. You know, the ball hit the official. Clearly it was on a path to go off the wall and go in, and the official is saying that he's part of the wall. He's not part of the wall because he's moving all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ooh. That's a tough one. It definitely impacted the Baltimore's opportunity to go to goal.
Rodriguez in the Freighter. Freighter 1 cap with the Reggae Boys, the Jamaican national team. That's going to be a foul assessed to Hernandez. See how tall Freighter was just standing there, just unfazed by the defensive pressure that Hernandez implemented on him.
Everybody's tall next to me.
Well, I'm going to leave that one alone. I think you're giving me a layup. At the end of the day, with what we do, it doesn't matter how tall you are as a broadcaster, am I right?
I've got my chair all the way up.
I got to stand doing these things. I get too nervous. Opportunity for the Strikers, and a goal. Strikers capitalize. Steven Chavez with another goal from turf to twine. Empire doubles up on the score. They now lead the Blast 4-2.
Just quick distribution from Brian, and just missing out on the 50-50 balls. Just battled there, and then just a little outside of the foot, bender to the far sticks there. So it's just hard work. Luck is when hard work meets opportunity, and he had a great opportunity because he just, quite frankly, outworked the 2 Baltimore defenders.
Steven Chavez now with his 6th goal of the season. 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points. Last year playing for an Outlaws team that had its challenges. He had a breakout year, 14 goals, 14 assists. I got to watch him play at TST when he featured for Villarreal. And he's enjoying his time here in Southern California and contributing significantly to the Strikers' offense, and contributing even more importantly for Empire tonight. Palmer into Orozco. Williams going in between them both. Palmer tried to find Fabian, but finds Porch instead. That ball comes back to Palmer, and it's going to take its fun little bounce. Recovered by Nascimento. Porch has had a very interesting professional career, as we had highlighted. The pass into Guevara, who scored the Blast's last goal. Hearing chants of "Here we go, Strikers." And shout out to the fans that braved the rain. I jokingly say rain is the apocalypse in Southern California, as people don't like to come out when it rains. And for those along the lines of much of the country, they would probably laugh at the amount of rain that causes calamity for most Southern Californians. I say this as someone who grew up in the Northeast, a small little town in New York called Queens for a good portion of my life. Pass comes into Guevara. He has his work cut out for him as he's going to try to get past Kudus Lawal and Robert Palmer. We see a blue card, Tarjeta Azul. The Strikers are going to have their second opportunity at a power play here. As the wall gets fouled, Guevara's going to head to the bin of sin. It's going to be a 2-minute power play.
Just the elbow to the dome right there. I'm sure that's what it was, because it wasn't that violent of a charge, but his elbow kind of hit him above the shoulders there, right in front of the official. Pretty easy call.
Blue card, Baltimore, number 19, contact above the shoulder. 2-minute power play for Ontario.
The Strikers looking to capitalize on the power play. Not in the upper echelon of teams that score within the power play, but certainly an advantageous position as we're looking down at the Strykers bench. We see Robert Palmer putting on that 6th attacker jersey as Brian Orozco's going to look to head to the bench. Strykers are going to look to utilize their super extra attacker. Palmer comes onto the turf. Orozco goes to the bench. 65 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Stinson into Palmer. Palmer has created a lot of opportunities for his teammates throughout the years. That bounce off the wall. Open opportunity. Does it have the ability to go through? And Melo lifts his hand as he's part of the penalty kill, apologizing to his team. But when you have such a clear opportunity, why not take it? Shorthanded goal we've seen Strykers get killed with anytime the keeper's been out of the box. Chavez, who just scored the Strykers' last goal, passes on over to Palmer. Palmer weighing in on his options, goes to the right to Diaz-Gonzalez. Over to Stinson, going back and forth amongst themselves. He shoots it off the wall. The touch by Fabian, less than 20 seconds remaining. Back over to Palmer. Alami, open on that right side. Palmer sees Fabian. That takes a bounce off of Nascimento. Back over to Palmer. 5 seconds remaining. Into the corner. Alami. Fabian tried to go for the scissor as the third quarter game clock expires. When we return from the break, the Strykers will still have 43 seconds remaining in the power play to capitalize on this scenario. But we still got a game, folks. 4-2 is hardly a big hill to climb for a team as talented as the Blast, so don't you dare go anywhere.
Mi gente, tenemos otro gol.
Funding for this program is presented by September's Tap Room and Eatery. More information. September's Tap Room and Eatery.
Juan Sabelo todo. Luces encendidas, ya se siente la presión. El estadio vibra fuerte con cada transmisión. Desde el fútbol hasta el cáliz y el balón. Aquí vivimos cada jugada con pasión. Desde la cancha hasta la narración. Aquí no es solo juego, es emoción. Si suena el silbato, comienza la acción. Quédate conectado, sube el volumen, campeón. No olvides suscribirte para no perderte ninguno de mis eventos. Si eres fanático de los deportes, mi canal es el que debes seguir. Y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos. Juan Sabelo Todo Deporte llegó para quedarse. Busca Juan Sabelo Todo Deporte en YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram o Facebook. En YouTube primero estamos creciendo, en Twitch tendiendo, seguimos subiendo. Cada jugada la estamos viviendo. Juan Sabelo Todo transmitiendo. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde el soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo Todo, puro motor. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde el soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo Todo, puro motor. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo Todo, puro motor. Ahora sí, ahora seguimos aquí. La energía nunca va a morir. Cada partido listo para ti.
Collect stamps and autographs with the Strykers Passport. Soccer in 60 is your go-to source for pro soccer in the greater LA. For all things LAFC, LA Galaxy, Angel City, Orange County SC, and Empire Strykers, tune in live every Thursday at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490 AM at 6 p.m. and on Fox Sports 1270 AM or anytime on the Empire Strykers YouTube or your favorite podcast player. Just search for Soccer in 60. Stay connected with the Empire Strykers all season long by downloading the official Empire Strykers app. From score and schedules to tickets and team updates, it's the easiest way to stay in the game. Download the Empire Strykers app by scanning the QR code and never miss a moment of the action.
Here we are at the start of the fourth quarter. 15 minutes remaining to declare and determine a winner. The Strykers have led the entirety of this game. The Blast have managed to crawl their way back in the second quarter, where both teams were tied at 2, but goals by Marco Fabian and Steven Chavez in the third quarter have the Strykers sitting on a 2-goal lead, but at this point, this game is going to get incredibly exciting, and it's going to pick up steam. The Blast so far have only had 5 shots in this contest. 0 in the first quarter, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 5 total. The Strykers have 18, 7, 5, and 6 in each of their respective quarters. So we're going to expect some fireworks here as Pereira tries to take it himself, runs into a brick wall that they call Alan Perez. Escutis Lawal picked up as a free agent from the Milwaukee Wave this season onto the turf. There we see the aggressiveness of Baltimore coming in to start the fourth quarter. Lawal out of Chicago, he's had himself a heck of a journey, and you referenced Soccer in 60 not too long ago. He had a conversation with Strykers head of public relations, Gunnar Byrne. Incredible story for the young man. And he is really happy, fortunate, and thrilled to be in Southern California. And at the end of the day, who wouldn't be? Although this week, it's been rather rainy and cold, but back to the 70s next week.
Definitely reminded me of my NorCal days this last week.
Which is why I chose to move to Southern California, because the idea of having to wear a raincoat was not something I anticipated. But it goes to show you how naive we are in the East Coast, having not traveled to California, anticipating Floridian-like weather minus the humidity, but not the case in January in SoCal. In fact, when we step outside, we may happen to see something that we don't see very often, our breath when we breathe.
It's always interesting when you have players going to different spots of the country and the different weather or a different part of the world. I was coaching 2 kids on the Barbados national team, and we were up north at Feather River College, and it started to snow. Tajio James, All-American, says, "Coach, I have no long pants."
You're right, the journeys of a footballer, but I mean, I can't say I've ever enjoyed the snow. I've always viewed it as the dandruff of the gods. It's just not something I enjoy.
I agree.
As we have a late whistle on the turf. That's going to be a restart for the Strykers. Baltimore looking to claw their way back in. Look, we can't help but highlight the fact that this really is an important game. Both teams are tied in points. If the Strykers can hang on to this would be a huge victory for them, as they will play against the Tacoma Stars. They are sandwiched in between the Stars and the Blast. The Strykers do take on the Stars on Sunday, a team that has been very successful at home, not so much on the road, which the same case can be argued about the Blast. But then again, hard to win on the road in any league, in any competition, anywhere in the world. Fabian with the spin. That takes the bounce off of Rodriguez. You just see how quickly Fabian can fire away. Hernandez is going to get called for the foul as Frater hits the deck. He was looking for a blue card. Now, both coaches, and there we see it, challenge flag gets thrown onto the turf by Baltimore as head coach of the Blast, David Bascombe, is irate. Artie, explain to the viewers tuning in at home what the challenge flag means and what happens whether it's awarded successfully or denied.
Well, the challenge flag is an opportunity for a coach who can challenge a call that was not called or call for a blue card. In this case, Coach Bascombe wants a blue card. I'm sure he's going to argue that he was free to goal.
The call on the field. Blue card, number 8 for Empire. 2 minutes. Power play for Baltimore. Shootout.
Okay, so the opposite official card came in and they discussed it and in fact called it a blue card. So I'm sure Coach Bascombe gets his challenge flag back. And in this case, because he was free to goal, he's going to have a shootout. He's got 5 seconds to score. Yeah. So even if Brian Orozco makes the initial save, if whoever's taking it there has an opportunity to follow up, as long as the ball's in by 5 seconds.
And what a juicy moment here in this game for all parties watching. Will Brian Orozco stand tall and make the save, or will Juan Pereira, who's in his 201st regular season appearance, find the back of the net for the 13th time, putting his team only down by 1. This is huge opportunity for Baltimore to blast their way back into this game. They've never truly been out of it. Anytime the Strikers have taken, well, not very often, a 2-goal lead, Baltimore has found an answer. The captain on his route, he shoots, he scores! Juan Pereira pushes it past Brian Orozco to score, 4-3.
So again, scoring on a set-piece situation, so that's 2 to 3 goals as a result of, an infraction from the Strikers, so certainly they want to clean that up the rest of the way. As far as the finish, I mean, he just waited Brian out and just slotted it by him. Just calm and collected. You mentioned the number of games. I mean, that was just veteranship right there.
Pereira, lucky number 13 in his 11th season in the MASL, over 200-plus points, nearly 130 goals, top 10 in goals, and part of that three-peat iconic Blast run. It's a 1-goal game, 7 goals.
The Strikers have done a very good job of responding after goals. So, let's see how Baltimore handles that. I'm sure they're aware of it as well.
Well, if history has that tendency to repeat itself, Baltimore is going to get the tie. Welly almost manages to do just that. Shalier bounces it off the wall into Isak Somo. He gets the ball taken away. Nascimento into Melo. The Brazilian bonanzas that are on this Baltimore team. You'd think going from Brazil, you'd want to stay somewhere warm, but so many Brazilians have been heading to Baltimore, and much to the joy of Blast fans, the Brazilians have contributed significantly to the success of the Blast over the last 12 years. Torch.
Just a little more pep in the step for the Blast here.
Pass comes in to Fisher. Fisher, who is a rookie this year, into Melo. Melo back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez is going to bounce it off the wall to Williams, and that bounces over him. Reyes off the National Court dasherboard. Melo takes it away into Fisher. Fans starting the wave here in Toyota Arena. What are your thoughts on the wave, Artie? Never mind that pass into Sila. Look at the play made by Orozco. Hold that thought. Frater. Perez doesn't have any numbers. Runs right into Thompson, who picks his pocket. Pereira, who just scored the goal on the shootout, beating Orozco, connects in with Thompson. But there's Alami. Perez. Thompson's there, dispossessing AP once again.
Se le fue la bola, se le fue la bola.
Now, sometimes you find yourself in an arena listening to music you listened to ages ago, CNC Music Factory, or is it Strike Force playing on the speakers? Can't quite tell. Perez has Palmer open, but Porch is there to intercept, and he collects it back from Frater. Porch into Pereira. The pass into Chad. Clears himself some space. Look at the footwork. Clearing up some space. Coming in. That ball goes back over to Pereira. Into the corner. Cheeky back heel. Sobo almost lost his footing. Pokes it away. Alami, 2 goals and an assist already. Finds Stinson, but there's Porch once again to make a exceptional defensive play. Back heel from Welly into Nascimento. That's going to restart things here for Baltimore as Melo comes back onto the turf for the Blast, as does Thompson and Fisher. Pass in to number 29, Kelvin Mwape in his second year. Haven't seen much of him. Goes by the nickname Mumu. Rodriguez into Bramus, the header. Heads it towards the Strikers bench.
I thought he was going to take that with his chest and just set it down, and he got a 3v2 if he could have kept it.
And Baltimore having a heck of a time trying to get it past the midfield and through and into their attack zone. Melo's going to settle on it. Playing in Brazil, his futsal ability has made him one of the most creative midfielders in the MASL. Alami. Strikers do not have the numbers, but he somehow finds the birthday boy, Ben Sudduth. Sudduth still sticking with it. And the Blast recover. We're going to see a lot of this back and forth action between these two teams as we are getting down to the nitty-gritty. Under 8 minutes remaining here in the contest. Into the corner, Melo chips it out of the defensive third of the turf for the Blast. Strikers now have it with the ability to take a breath. Orozco well outside of his box. The Strikers have found themselves late in games with the keeper outside of the box, carelessly turning over the ball, leading to another goal from the opposition. That happened on Sunday in San Diego. Alami with the opportunity with the strike, but Rodriguez there with the save, getting his paws all over it. Alami recovers it for the Strikers.
Great work from him here.
He's had a great game offensively. 2 goals and 1 assist thus far. This game were to end right now, he would be our top star of the game. There's Fabian. Fabian currently at 97 career points, needs 3 more to reach 100. Shalier. That was close as that comes out and into the camera bin, and that's going to send us to our final media timeout. If you're at home chewing on your nails, you're in good company, because in a few moments I'll be joining all of y'all with biting on my cuticles. If you don't find any excitement in this, folks, you don't have a pulse. 6:55 remaining. We have a little more action left to be had.
Mi gente, oigan, este es el último break que están cogiendo esta gente en esta última sección en la parte 4 del juego. Como podemos ver, ahora estamos pasando a los anuncios y el evento donde el equipo fue al hospital para ver personas que estaban mal. Como pueden ver, llegaron con muchísimos muñecos ahí.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls if you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls if you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Con el fútbol bajo el sol, wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo todo, puro motor. Ahora sí, ahora seguimos aquí. La energía nunca va a morir. Cada partido listo para ti. Comenta, comparte, quédate en mí. No importa el marcador, aquí celebramos cada gol, cada strike, cada control. La vibra sube sin temor. Twitch encendido, público activo, YouTube creciendo, todo positivo. TikTok e Insta vienen después, pero aquí comenzamos otra vez. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Hoy beba sobre el ring, all el crowd gritando win. Este stream no tiene fin, Juan Sabelo todo, let's begin. Sube la adrenalina, se siente la rutina, streaming día tras día, construyendo disciplina. Somos familia deportiva, aquí la vibra es positiva. Si te gusta el juego real, este es tu canal. En vivo,
Quicker shifts at Philly, so they're going to push.
Foul onto the turf, almost a foul onto the turf as Williams opened up. Shot saved by Orozco.
Excellent save.
Contact there as Nico Williams opened up the door to the Strikers bench, and it looks like we have a player down. I think it is one of the Somo brothers. Can't quite tell, but there was contact as that ball was close to the boards, and we saw Williams avert danger, but not sure if the way he pushed one of the, it looks like it's Isak Somo, whether or not that door hurt him. Hopefully he is okay. The last thing we want to see is any players get hurt. We unfortunately bared witness to that at Front Wave Arena where Charlie Gonzalez went down with a bad injury for the Sockers, and if Charlie's at home watching this game, we wish you all the best. Look at the contact. Yes, Somo absolutely slammed into that door, not because of Williams, or maybe
wow,
I missed that replay, but he went down instantly, and the officials having a conversation with Strykers assistant coach Quentin Swift, who was a player last season.
Yeah, that's pretty tough, man, because when the door swings open like that, it exposes sharp edges, and it's quite painful. Quite painful.
There we see the replay.
Right. So right there, Coach Swift's got a NFL lineman hold that wall so it doesn't open up.
Oh, we see it right there. That's a better angle. Yeah,
he was getting robbed. Look, hands up.
What I could tell you about Isak and his brother Ali, these are tough kids coming out of upstate New York. He wouldn't be down on the turf if that didn't hurt. And look at just the speed he was coming in.
That was on the panel too. That wasn't even the door, because the door would have given way, which wouldn't have been so impactful. But you see there, it was just right on that, just the panel itself, and that's unforgiving. That's going to leave a mark.
So Strykers' backup goalkeeper Brandon Gomez is helping Somo up, and he's going to get a round of applause from this crowd. Hopefully he's okay as our trainer Daisy tends to Somo. So we resume play. Artie, in 1979, 4 bandmates out of Sweden, Joey Tempest, John Norum, Peter Olsen, and Tony Reno of the band Europe created a song that went, back then, viral by the name of The Final Countdown. That's exactly what we have here with 6:29 remaining. The final countdown in a game that carries tremendous implications. The Strykers looking to separate themselves from the Baltimore Blast. The Blast looking to leapfrog the Strykers in the playoff position. Only the top 6 teams will get to go to the postseason. Right now, the Strykers are in if the season ended, but the Blast do have 2 games in hand. This would be a huge come-from-behind game for them if they can manage to create an equalizer and a go-ahead goal. They have not led in this game so far. They have managed to get it tied at 2-2, but so many weapons at the disposal of head coach David Bascombe. Can the Strykers stand tall defensively? We saw it on Monday against the Milwaukee Wave, where they held on to the 1-goal lead. As Milwaukee had a flurry of goals, 40-16 against the Strykers in that contest on Monday. But so far today, it's the Strykers that do lead in that statistical category. Last I checked, it was 18-15. Now it's 20-7 in favor of the Strykers. Baltimore Blast far more efficient on their attempts. There's a shot. Look at the defensive play by Stinson, getting an incredible block, denying Fisher of a clean look, and another attempt. Frater cleaned up by Chavez. It's going to come back into Porch right around the midfield, approaching the 5:20 mark in the 4th quarter. Melo to his right,
ya están adentro
into Fisher.
En los últimos juegos de esta rama.
Porch already with a goal to his credit today. Has Welly to his right, off of the wall. And that's going to come back over to Melo. Sila, watch for him trying to thread through the needle. He's been incredible at contributing to the success of his teammates this season. Under 5 to go. Ball comes in to the right side, back into Melo. Entering the turf is Thompson as Guevara heads off. In comes Nico Williams. Williams was part of that exchange moments ago with Somo. Williams tries to turn around, tries to get past Perez. Perez standing, or actually I should say on his back, preventing the play. Sudeth has Shalir and Perez to his left. Strykers on the counter. Perez is going to hold up. If Perez manages to score again, he will equal his career high of 9 goals. Reyes, in his 100th appearance for the Strykers franchise, finds Diaz Gonzalez, the Cuban international. We are approaching the 4-minute mark in the 4th quarter. Folks, how much fun is indoor soccer? Most underrated sport North America has to offer. Hernandez into Reyes. Reyes, who grew up in San Diego, played for the Fury, played for the Sockers, had a career year playing for the Outlaws. Thrilled to be back in Southern California to play around his family. He, along with Charlie and Bebe Gonzalez, run the TC Brothers Academy. Very serious and disciplined player. Came back from a muscle injury. 319, Fabian, as we mentioned, 3 points shy of a milestone, 100 points into Diaz Gonzalez. Back over to Mighty Marco. He's got Shalier to his left. Shalier against Thompson. Somehow finds Hernandez into Fabian. Fabian spins, the defensive stop by the Blast. And that credit goes in to Ospina.
Yeah, Baltimore's, they're going to need to extend here. Oh, boy.
And that's going to be an unfortunate turnover, I guess you could say, as that one had too much, call it Tapatio. I like Tapatio. In fact, that's what I had on my meal for lunch as it goes over the net.
It also allows for the 6th attacker change.
Jonatas Mello wearing the 6th attacker jersey. Just like traditional ice hockey, you can pull the keeper and add that extra attacker. Can the Blast capitalize here, or will the Strykers prevent the Blast from creating the tie? 2:27 remaining with Mello onto the turf and Silla, 2 dishing dynamos. Juan Pereira wide open on the left, so keep your eyes on him. Intercepted by Steven Chavez, but he gets dispossessed. Chad Porch making a great play, finds Mello. Here's a counterattack opportunity. Into Pereira. Pereira fires, and the equalizer. Juan Pereira, back-to-back goals. We are now tied with under 2 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Tough giveaway, right? Like, right, I mean, the game is won. So, unfortunately, well, you see here, they just moved the ball to the free guy, and then he just found the goal. But it all started with the giveaway. You know, if he just nicks it forward, he was trying to put himself in a better position to possibly score on the takeaway. But if he just nicks it forward along the boards, all that goes away, and it's still 4-3. Now it's 4-4.
Pereira, 2 goals in this game, now up to 14. And I like to coin this as a 6th attacker dagger, and the Strykers defense gets stabbed. The game is now tied 4-4, under 2 remaining. The crowd starting to pick up on that decibel level here in Toyota Arena. Toyota Arena, beautiful venue, home of the AHL's Ontario Reign, and there's a foul on Diaz Gonzalez. We don't see the official going into his pocket, pulling out that card.
4-4.
Although we did see a challenge flag get thrown by the Baltimore Blast, but challenge flag, oh, I see David Bascombe, or somebody had a red challenge flag in his hand.
Yeah, remember the officials changed their mind on their own, so the flag wasn't necessary.
And there it is, David Bascombe throwing that challenge flag onto the turf. It was Juan Pereira that hit that corner. We apologize for that momentary brain buffering. As from our angle, we couldn't quite see, but now the officials are going to review, and this is a big one here.
This is huge, because it'll finish the game off, and then even if it goes to extra time, first 20 seconds.
It's just a simple foul. Baltimore is challenging for a possible missed blue card. The previous play is under review.
A very good description. That just sums it up perfectly. Described exactly what the call was.
He made your job easier. And shout out to our officials, by the way.
And again, the officials earlier, you know, Coach Bascombe threw the flag earlier. You know, they pulled it, and so that allowed him to have it now. Curious to see. He hit the wall pretty hard. Usually, you know, player safety is #1, so it's going to be reflect whether or not was that Walter. Hit him with force to push him into the wall.
Folks, once again, we'd like to acknowledge the fact that we are on KVCR PBS today. We certainly appreciate their broadcasting partnership. You are either watching the game on PBS or on Fox Soccer Plus or on MASL TV. Just whatever medium you are on, we certainly appreciate you. And we are waiting for official confirmation.
The call on the field is upheld. It is just a simple foul. Restart is free kick for Baltimore.
And the Strykers avoided a big one right here as the 6th attacker dagger was sharpened for the Blast. You can argue that the Strykers got I don't want to say lucky, as the officials did go over to the monitor, but another 6th attacker dagger would have proved to be fatal for Empire.
It would have been fatal, you know, just from a number of fronts. But when you looked at it, you know, Walter just nicked him. It wasn't, you know, he didn't hit him from an angle behind to push him into the wall. He just kind of ran into the wall. So just a slight nudge. So nothing there. Right call by the officials.
Nascimento on the restart. He goes off to the left side. Melo into Pereira. Tried to find Melo again. Lawal has it with Porch pushing him away. Lawal under significant duress. Orozco is going to get it out of the danger zone. We're under 90 seconds remaining. If no team scores here, we will go to a 10-minute golden goal, sudden death overtime. If nobody scores, then we will go to a shootout. And what's better than soccer? More soccer. But we still have 63 seconds to determine whether or not we will get there, as that comes out of bounds. It's going to be a restart for the Strykers as Palmer plays it into Reyes. Under a minute to go. Can the Strykers or the Blast find lightning in a bottle? Alami. Look at the defense by Sila.
It's like he had suction cups on the bottom of his foot there. Just pulled it back.
Octopus-like. Diaz Gonzalez. Zombie Nation playing on the loudspeakers here at Toyota Arena. 35 seconds to go. Strykers gonna hold off for a last opportunity here. Diaz Gonzalez into Reyes. Fabian back over to Andy. He's got Palmer and Alami in the box. 20 seconds officially remaining. Can the Strykers fire one off? Baltimore looking to prevent the Strykers from a last minute at the death goal. The chip in. Strykers find Alami. 10 seconds. Pereira kicks it out of the danger. Into the box. Fabian blasts it. Misses it. Another attempt. That's going to come off a porch as the game clock expires. Strykers do not capitalize on their final possession. Credit the Baltimore Blast defense. Artie, we're going to overtime.
Sheesh. Strykers got good looks, good opportunities. You know, right foot from Fabian, you know, you'd bet on that. So they had the good looks.
All right, folks, sudden death overtime when we return. So much more action to be had here at Toyota Arena. Oh, my gosh.
When your heart needs a helping hand, you want the best, most advanced treatment available. We know there's strength and expertise. That's why for over 50 years, we've been a trusted provider of heart and vascular care in the region, specializing in minimally invasive surgical techniques, from treating infants born with heart defects to performing complex endovascular procedures. Our specialists are here to support strong, healthy hearts. Loma Linda University International Heart Institute. Many strengths, one mission.
Today in America, 11 million children are living in poverty, in desperate need of food, academic support, and stable housing. Children who face staggering challenges, who are more likely to experience health problems. But there is hope. At Hope Through Housing, we are changing lives. We provide children with the support they need to dream, learn, and break the cycle of poverty. Your gift today can make a world of difference in the life of a child.
Ese es el equipo ganador para hoy. So vamos a ver lo que
Funding for
sucede
this program is
cuando regrese
presented
el
by
juego de nuevo.
September's Tap Room and Eatery.
Ya vamos a poner un chin de musiquita aquí. Recuerden de suscribirse, darle un dedito para arriba al video para que le llegue el video a otras personas igual como que avance al
Juan Sabelo Todo.
Seguimos en vivo. No olvides suscribirte para no perderte ninguno de mis eventos. Si eres fanático de los deportes, mi canal es el que debes seguir. Y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos.
luces encendidas, ya se siente la presión. El estadio vibra fuerte con cada transmisión. Desde el fútbol hasta el cáliz y el balón, aquí vivimos cada jugada con pasión. Desde la cancha hasta la narración, aquí no es solo juego, es emoción. Si suena el silbato, comienza la acción. Quédate conectado, sube el volumen, campeón. No olvides suscribirte para no perderte ninguno de mis eventos. Si eres fanático de los deportes, mi canal es el que debes seguir. Y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos. Juan Sabelo Todo Deporte llegó para quedarse. Busca Juan Sabelo Todo Deporte en YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram o Facebook. En YouTube primero estamos creciendo, en Twitch tendiendo, seguimos subiendo. Cada jugada la estamos viviendo. Juan Sabelo Todo transmitiendo. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde el soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo Todo, puro motor. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde el soccer hasta basquetbol.
We haven't seen his brother Isak since he went in to the deck. And that's going to be a foul on Frater, taking down Orozco.
It's very ambitious from Brian.
Brian has been very ambitious, but he has managed to succeed at times. At other times, he's managed to be, well, the opposite of what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, he had the pace to get by there, but I mean, at this point, the start of overtime, I'm not sure Coach Obasi wanted the risk at that moment.
Palmer into Stinson. Who's going to put on that Superman cape? Off the wall. Excellent defense by the Blast. Orozco's going to retreat back into the box. There is a war between Welly and Ali. Ali comes up with it into Shalir, the Strikers' newest acquisition, a big-time target forward who managed to score 11 goals in his time at Utica City FC. Hasn't had many opportunities to practice with this team, but I know the Strikers organization is very high on him. Hernandez into Diaz-Gonzalez, creating space, looking to get past Thompson. There's a shot. And a field goal attempt that would make Adam Vinatieri of the NFL envious. Attempt by Diaz-Gonzalez off the mark. Quick play in from Rodriguez into Pereira. Pereira having an excellent game for the Blast. Already 2 goals. The captain. You can see why he's the leader of this Blast team. And he's going to go down. Play resumes, and the whistle is blown. Looks like it's going to be a foul assessed to the Strikers.
That was a live radio call, a little 5-second delay.
There we see the push-off on Sudeth. So now a dangerous restart for the Blast.
Very dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised if they called a timeout here just to discuss it.
Mello on the forefront of this attack. He's got Pereira to the left of him. Porch also to the left of him. Sila. And it looks like Guevara. The Blast are spreading themselves out. Will he call a timeout? And you said it, Coach. You said it. The Blast called for a timeout to go to the X's and O's. I got to keep my eye on David Bascom, the head coach of the Blast. Will he use his tie once again to clean his clipboard?
You got to love it, man. I'm just telling you.
That might have been my favorite moment of the game, to be honest with you.
You just got to love it. He was into it, bro. Just into it. That was classic.
And you want to talk about an impressive career. I mean, that man's had an impressive career. Obviously, he's been at the helm of one of the most successful franchises in the history of the indoor game. But if you look at his playing career, he played with the Blast for a number of years, 03 to 08. Played with the Harrisburg Heat. Significant career, but most interesting about Coach Bascom, appointed a member of the Order of the British Empire in the 2003 birthday honors for services to support sport and young people in Bermuda.
Good
member of the Order of the British Empire. Unbelievable. There's nobody else in this league that we could say that about.
Does he have like a sir or anything attached to that, or how does that work?
I mean, I'm sure he could demand it, and quite honestly, deserves it.
Indeed, that's awesome.
He was an assistant coach with the Blast going back to 06, and then in 2020 was promoted to head coach. Has a brother named Andrew who's named head coach of USL League Two's Bascome Bermuda. Where have I heard that name? And look, he played internationally for Bermuda. In fact, competed in a friendly against Norway back in 1992. He earned a total of 12 caps, scoring 2 goals, and represented his country in 5 FIFA World Cup qualifications. That's a heck of a career, Artie.
I mean, you just listed a plethora of moments where he's dialed up a play. So you know he's got something he's going to pull out here.
But none more entertaining than him cleaning the clipboard with his red tie. So Melo on the restart. Seal it to the right.
I'm into this game. I don't care.
How could you not be? I jokingly said this multiple times. If you don't find this entertaining, you don't have a pulse. What's it going to be? Melo into Sila. The shot saved by Orozco. Collapsing in on it. Guevara tried to poke it past Orozco. Under 8 to go. Orozco is going to levitate it high into the air. Nascimento heads it back into his team's bench. 7:54 remaining. Strikers regain possession on the restart. And not too sure what's going on. We see both benches active, screaming on the turf.
Too many men. They're saying Strikers, too many men.
Well, I would hate to say it if that was the case. Not the first time that the Strikers have been smacked with too many men.
I guess the question has to be...
The call on the field is play on and no foul. We are going to review to see if Empire had too many men. The previous play is under review.
I've lost count at the number of times that the Strikers have got assessed with a blue card for too many men.
It could prove to be a fatal error in this game.
Considering how the Blast have been playing today, absolutely. Let's take a look at that video review. I'm going to deflect this one to you, Coach.
You know I can count. I can't read, but I can count.
Well, I mean, you need size 36 font on the screen in order to read.
Well, this 104-inch plasma we got for our replays helps.
Well, if you think this is a 104-inch plasma, then I'm kind of terrified as to what you're seeing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there someone up high? Can't really see to the right of the screen. So there's 2, 4, 5.
So if the Strikers do get hit with too many men, tell our viewers at home what that means.
And then Baltimore would be rewarded with a power play. So it'd be 5 versus 4 or on the floor. So 6v5.
And we saw how Baltimore capitalized on the man advantage.
4, 5. Yeah, I think the other view we didn't see the Lamy, yeah? 2, 4, 5. So there's 1.
Sí, oigan, si lo encuentran que sí, que fue así, lo que sucede aquí ahora mismo es que entonces le quitan un jugador a los Strikers y el juego
there? Maybe he came on and then jumped right off right away. That may be what they're looking at.
Una jugada de fuerza.
Because we account for a Lamy.
Entonces, en otras palabras, 5 hombres van a estar jugando del lado de los Blast, que son los colores oscuros, y 4 estarían entonces jugando del lado de los Strikers.
So we're getting the angles from every single direction, and shout out to our production crew for giving us all these camera angles. We are blessed to have incredible camera angles and a great production crew here. We are still waiting for the official verdict. If the Strikers get smacked upside the head with too many men, this would give Baltimore an ample opportunity to make them pay for a repeated mistake that they have made time and time again.
So there's the 5.
And while we're waiting,
so you see Lawal's on now. Right, so he was the one sitting on the board. So that's probably the change they're looking at or waiting to find the view for.
Officials viewing it from every single angle because obviously this is a call that's going to have massive implications in this contest.
So to be fair, I mean, if you look at the distance between Marco and the wall, it's a pretty good sized distance to cover in the amount of time that he jumped on the wall.
So then I have to ask you in this case, Coach Artie Kyrell, who has coached in the Major Arena Soccer League, from what you have just seen, what is your first impression? What are we looking at?
Todavía se está investigando, mi gente.
I mean, I don't think there's a view that unequivocally says, you know, shows that extra player. But like I was just kind of extrapolating out my thoughts. Like that word.
Extrapolating, I would dare you to spell that.
Extra and palating.
That's not exactly spelling, but then again, you're not getting paid to be a speller.
It's the closest you're going to get, bro. I can spell okay.
Oh, geez, I hope so. Okay, an acronym. Old Kinderhook. Okay, we're seconds away from the official verdict. We're all sitting here on the edge of our seats. What's it gonna be?
After review, Empire was playing with too many men.
Oh boy.
So there is the official verdict. Blue card assessed to the Empire Strykers. Too many men. And Artie, if we had a nickel for every time that the Strykers got hit with too many men, guess what? We'd be able to have a handful of gumballs. Now Baltimore has an opportunity to capitalize here. 4-4, 7:54 remaining in this contest.
This is big time now to step up. You know, I mean, the Strykers have done well. They've pressed. They've pushed the time for the 2 minutes. So, you know, this is a time where they've got to step up now.
The penalty kill for the Strykers has been just a couple of notches below 80%.
You see, they've got the ball so they can kill some time. You know, they're very good at this.
They are at possession, but now that possession belongs to the Blast, although we just had another whistle.
De agarrar y coger el gol para ganar en este partido en este día de hoy.
7:41 remaining here in overtime. Just as a reminder, next goal wins. If that 7:41 expires, we are going into a shootout. We haven't had any shootouts actually, for that matter, this season.
Nope.
When you start doing this as long as we have, sometimes you start to lose track of these types of things. But yes, no shootouts thus far this season.
Other games, there were a ton last weekend, huh?
It seemed that way, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Melo on the restart, the official over there at the scores table.
So we'll see as they build out. I mean, not sure why they would stop it. So just a little restart. So you can see Strykers are going to want to press and put pressure on the ball right away to, you know, milk time, force an errant pass, hopefully. So as we're about to start. All the officials, I wish the teacher would make the call. All the officials have their hands up, have the answer. But nope, going back over. Another announcement. Maybe the clock.
Did we just hear a dragnet sound clip? We might be dating ourselves with even knowing that reference here. There's kids in their 20s that are wondering what in the heck it is we're talking about. All right, so Melo plays it into Porch on the restart. Under 8 to go here in overtime. Melo, the midfielder extraordinaire, into Sila, who has found his knack at contributing dimes to his teammates.
It's going to be interesting there, Philly. It appeared to me that they gave the Blast another extra 5 seconds when maybe it was the clock there where
Oh, and there was a play as Perez tried to find Lawal, but the Blast playing defense, denying the Strykers of a clean look at a short-handed goal. Palmer plays it off the wall. Perez smashes it off the wall, collected by Sila. He finds Melo as we're approaching the 7-minute mark remaining in overtime. The pass comes in over to Porch. Porch goes back to Melo. At this point, we are under a minute to go within this power play. The Blast looking for a clean look. Strykers trying to kill this penalty. The ball comes into Ospina, up top to Sila, into the left to Pereira, who's eyeing a hat trick. Him and the strikers Munir Alami both sitting on 2 goals. Porch loses possession. And we see Palmer, who comes up with it, tried to use the wall, and a foul gets assessed. The whistle gets blown. 24 seconds remaining on the power play. Strikers have it close enough to kill this power play. Palmer on the restart is going to advance it into Stinson. Stinson chests it into Hernandez. He collects the pass from Chavez. Pereira heads it. Stinson with the touch. Poked back to Thompson. He's going to get it back to his keeper, Rodriguez. 10 seconds on the power play. Pereira advances it across the midfield. Goes back to Melo. And thank you again, folks, for tuning in to KVCR PBS. Porch into Melo. Melo to Sila. The penalty is killed. The strikers successfully maintain defensively. They stand their ground. Getting close to that halfway point here in overtime. Perez looking to assault Rodriguez. He kicks it off the Marcel Wellness center banner. Porch has it. Passes it in.
So they're still under peril, the strikers are, because they haven't had a chance to change out their defenders for the power play, and they've been out there for the 2 minutes. So.
Cheeky back heel. Strikers recollect it. Palmer into Orozco, who's going to chip it high, headed. Hernandez comes back up with it. Chavez into Palmer. Under 5 to go here. Strikers now with a little space to operate. Perez instead is going to backtrack into Chavez. Chavez with a goal to his credit today. He's going to go across the turf into Diaz-Gonzalez. He's going to casually progress the ball forward before backtracking to Palmer.
Just allowing the changes there, Philly. Slowed it up. Now they've got fresh legs out there, except for Berto.
Berto, just an Iron Man today.
Definitely.
Berto is the nickname of that man right there, captain of the Empire Strykers, Robert Palmer, into Orozco. Orozco has had game winners against the Blast in the past, as has Justin Stinson. Orozco with a lot of space. He's going to pass it into Fabian. Fabian back to Diaz-Gonzalez. Strikers spreading the Blast defensively. Stinson. He shoots off the chest of Rodriguez. Fabian has it. Fabian shot. He misses. The ball is loose. Headed out by Melo. Collected by Diaz-Gonzalez. 3:46 remaining. Strikers still maintaining possession. Who is heading into the phone booth? Who is putting on the Superman cape? Who is going to be Clark Kent? So many questions that we have to ponder. So many questions that we are anticipating to be answered. Will it be the Strikers? Will it be the Blast? Will we go to a shootout? This is MASL at its finest. Stinson to Diaz-Gonzalez to Fabian. Nascimento turns it around, finds Porch. Into the left to Melo. Yes, absolutely well played. It bounces off the wall into Thompson. Thompson gets swarmed. Clear space. He's got an opportunity. Misses off the Strikers' dasher board. He somehow gets by 4 defenders. There is a piece of the back wall out. Another opportunity. The goal is missed. And an opportunity. And the capitalization. And a game winner. It is number 19, Jairo Guevara, who scores the game winner in overtime. The Blast win in what's been an incredible game of indoor soccer.
Just methodically sticking to their game plan, trying to slow down, allowing strikers to play in certain gaps. And then they just catch him here. Very unfortunate. The wall goes down. Generally, they would, make the call. But then just didn't go that way. I mean, clearly a dangerous situation for the player. Clearly. It's impeding the play. I mean, if a ball were rolling into the goal, it couldn't go in because the wall is down, or that piece is down.
And Pereira, that's what we call a Wallace scorer, off the wall one-timer. There's the view from the overhead camera. If you see down by the goal, there's a piece of the wall. Pereira smacks it off the wall, and Jairo, the hero, Guevara, scores.
It was a Wallace scorer?
That absolutely is a Wallace scorer.
After a Walla Falla. Right? I mean, goodness me, how do you, I mean, officials have a difficult job, but I mean, if you just look at it, it's wow.
I mean, nothing controversial about that. You would think that players were not confused, but the attention comes off as, I would imagine the players were looking for a stoppage in play as, well, that could be an obstruction there. It could be a potential injury scenario, but the officials allow the game to be played, which no question about that, not arguing it, but the Blast capitalized on the Strikers. Lack of focus on that attempt. Juan Pereira, the one-timer off the wall, Wallace scorer into Jairo, the hero, Guevara, and Baltimore. What an incredible game. They take their first and only lead in overtime and beat the Strikers. Now, both teams do collect a point due to the fact that they went into overtime, but the important 2 points.
La transmisión del stream, para dejarles saber que recuérdense, suscríbanse, compartan el canal con otra persona, denle un dedito para arriba a este stream, para que le llegue este stream a otras personas que les gusta el soccer, el fútbol, como dicen, el fútbol de Latinoamérica. Y ya ustedes saben, yo he pasado un momento agradable con ustedes. La próxima va a ser mucho mejor cuando ya yo tenga un audífono donde yo pueda ir clara a lo que está pasando. Pero, mientras tanto, yo he pasado un momento con ustedes muy agradable aquí. Espero que ustedes también pasaron uno conmigo. En que hemos tenido, esto en vivo, cosas así suceden. Todavía sabemos que tenemos tecnología que todavía tienen su, ¿cómo lo voy a decir? Su gases, ¿verdad? Cositas que pasan, en vivo no se puede agarrar y que déjame echar para atrás y recortar esto, no. Esto es en vivo y corriente. Con eso dicho, mi gente, recuérdense, estamos aquí, lo queremos muchísimo, JuanSabeloTodoDeporte. Quiero dejarles saber que tengo una transmisión que va a salir en JuanSabeloTodo Reseñas, donde los productos de Temo, lo voy a estar dándole una revisión. Temo, ya ustedes saben que ese anuncio sale a cada rato en los dispositivos suyos. A cada rato Temo. Bueno, pues hay unos productos que acabaron de llegar que yo los voy a estar revisando en JuanSabeloTodo Revista. Ya ustedes saben, los quiero mucho. Recuerden que también pueden oír la música de JuanSabeloTodo en todos los dispositivos musicales que ustedes tengan. En las redes que a ustedes les gustan oír su música. Nada más tienen que poner artista JuanSabeloTodo y le va a salir la música mía. Recuérdense, mi gente, que también van a ver versiones cortas de estas transmisiones en este nuevo canal de JuanSabeloTodoDeporte, dedicado solamente al deporte y transmisiones en vivo. En tiempo real, mi gente. En otras palabras, cuando ustedes están viéndolo aquí, ese juego está tomando en vida real, también se está jugando. Con eso me despido. Los quiero muchísimo y los veo en la próxima transmisión. Prendan la campanita para que le lleguen a ustedes el horario de los deportes, cuáles deportes y a qué hora van a ser transmitidos aquí en JuanSabeloTodoDeporte. Cuídense.
Mi canal es el que debes seguir y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos. JuanSabeloTodoDeporte llegó para quedarse. Busca JuanSabeloTodoDeporte en YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram o Facebook. En YouTube primero estamos creciendo, en Twitch tendiendo, seguimos subiendo. Cada jugada la estamos viviendo. JuanSabeloTodo transmitiendo. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. Todo el fútbol bajo el sol, wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. JuanSabeloTodo, puro motor. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, La pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo todo, puro motor. Ahora sí, ahora seguimos aquí. La energía nunca va a morir. Cada partido listo para ti. Comenta, comparte, quédate en mí. No importa el marcador, aquí celebramos cada gol, cada strike, cada control. La vibra sube sin temor. Twitch encendido, público activo, YouTube creciendo, todo positivo. TikTok e Insta vienen después, pero aquí comenzamos otra vez. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Hoy beba es sobre el ring, hey, hey. College crowd gritando win, hey, hey. Este stream no tiene fin. Juan Sabelo todo, let's begin. Sube la adrenalina, se siente la rutina. Streaming día tras día, construyendo disciplina. Somos familia deportiva, aquí la vibra es positiva. Si te gusta el juego real, este es tu canal. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo todo, puro motor. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo todo, puro motor. En vivo, la pasión la llevo conmigo. En vivo, el deporte corre en mi sonido. Desde soccer hasta basquetbol, con el fútbol bajo el sol. Wrestling, tenis, lo mejor. Juan Sabelo todo, puro motor. Hey, hey. Deporte en vivo. Hey, hey. Juan Sabelo todo.
Seguimos en vivo. No olvides suscribirte para no perderte ninguno de mis eventos. Si eres fanático de los deportes, mi canal es el que debes seguir. Y recuerda avisarles a tus amigos.
Juan Sabelo todo. Hey, hey. Deporte en vivo. Hey, hey. Juan Sabelo todo. Luces encendidas, ya se siente la presión. El estadio vibra fuerte con cada transmisión. Desde el fútbol hasta el cáliz y el balón. Aquí vivimos cada jugada con pasión. Desde la cancha hasta la narración. Aquí no es solo juego.